Get your two pieces ready. It's time for DOA, Dead or Alive, on Bad Movies Rule, the worst movie podcast ever recorded. And today, in his American flag bikini, we got Ryan Matala in the house. It's under his shirt.
I'll show you later.
We've got Mel Vandy off from the shoe store and in the studio. And Stephanie Farrell, the former professional wrestler, is here in studio. I'm James Houser, your host. Thank you for joining us. Let's go. It's DOA Day.
Yeah, it is.
I was going to say powerlifter, and then I just said wrestler. I don't know why. You did something. What was it effectively, essentially? It wasn't
bodybuilding?
Bodybuilding? Is that what it falls under? Okay.
Yeah.
It was carrying this show on her shoulders the entire time.
Because I wanted to say powerlifter, and I was like, I don't know if that was technically what you did, and so
I liked wrestler better. I'll go with
Perfect.
that.
You could have. You could have been a professional wrestler. And what would your name have been?
Muscle Massacre.
Let's go.
Perfect. Well, guys, I'm so happy that we're in here talking about this masterpiece from 2006, Dead or Alive.
Yes.
And I'm glad that Mel watched the right Dead or Alive.
For once.
There's another Dead or Alive out there.
There's like 16 of them.
Yeah, I was looking for a while to try to find it.
Oh, God. Now I'm worried I watched the wrong one.
No, you watched the video game one.
Yes.
Okay, then you're good.
We're good, yeah.
Actually, I did not watch a video. Did I watch a video game movie?
No, it's a movie based off of a video game. It wasn't animated.
I did not know that.
Yes, it is.
Really?
And, yes. And we're going to get into all of that.
That answers one of my questions.
For those of you who have never joined the show before, we are going to go through this movie scene by scene for you. We'll go through everything. We're primarily a movie roasting podcast, but we will give the thing props when it deserves it. And at the end, we're going to give out some awards.
If it deserves it.
Some good awards, some bad awards.
One out of four of us is here to praise this.
We'll see.
Always awards to be given regardless.
Regardless of whether it's trash or not. But we will ultimately land on whether we think it's bad or good, or maybe it's a bad movie that rules. We'll see as we get through this. But just to kick you guys off, we're going to start with just all the vitals so that just so Mel knows he watched the right movie. This way, as we go through this checklist, please let me know if you watched something else.
Okay.
Okay. The movie.
I'm kind of hoping you did.
Prison Escape.
Not a prison escape. No.
Okay.
So
That was the first one I actually put on.
Oh my gosh. Did you
no.
really?
I did. And then I realized this is not what we're talking about.
How many Dead or Alive movies did you watch before you got to the right one?
Just one.
Okay.
And
so
then I'm assuming this is the right one.
this one was directed by Corey Yuen. Does that sound familiar?
No, but would Bob love this movie?
Yes.
Then I watched the right one.
There we go.
Yeah, so good as time as any to say, Ryan Matala filling in for Bob today. So just want to say thank you. This was supposed to be a Bob Hauser slot.
They're big pants to fill.
They are. Bob, unfortunately, wasn't able to make it today, so there's going to be a little bit of a gap here without Bob. So don't worry, he hasn't disappeared.
I can creep plenty for this movie.
All right, perfect. Then you can fill those shoes.
Go.
Perfect. Excellent. So Corey Yuen, for those of you who may not know who Corey is, he is actually a very accomplished martial arts film director. He directed No Retreat, No Surrender back in the 80s with Jean-Claude Van Damme, one of his first movies he was ever in. He also directed Transporter, the first Transporter movie with Jason Statham. Okay. So perfectly competent as a martial arts film director.
I think that shows in some of the combat scenes.
Yeah, no, for sure. The big problem that Corey had is that he didn't speak a lick of English, not any. And only two people in the entire crew spoke English. So they had to relay everything to all of the actors and everybody on set. And and Jaime Pressly talked about this, that it was like the most confusing experience ever because no one ever knew what anyone was talking about or saying ever.
Is that why her bra came off?
Yes, exactly why.
They didn't understand.
Yeah.
Like, just take off the bra. Like, okay.
Movie was written by, this is where I think maybe things start to go a little askew. It was written by J.F. Lawton, okay? J.F. Lawton wrote Pretty Woman.
Well, there you go.
You know what? It fits.
That's like
fits.
about the same.
This one's pretty much Pretty Women.
And
There you go.
and the original Under Siege. So he wrote two big movies.
Wow. Under Siege, huh?
Yeah, the original, not the second one that we did, but
Doesn't matter.
Now, the other two writers, Adam Gross and Seth Gross, I'm assuming they're brothers, were writers on Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Well, wasn't a lot of science in this one.
So
makes sense.
Did they just put a bunch of names in like a hat and they're like, whoever we pull out of this is going to make this movie?
I want to guess, and this is a total speculation, that the Bill Nye guys wrote the script and that they brought in J.F. Lawton to try and fix the script as a fixer, which they'll do periodically, right? To be like, hey, help us. This is terrible.
Mr. Lawton,
And
you
a lot
got
of times-
really cool movie idea about these girls.
Let me help you with the delete key.
Perfect. Sometimes it's just so far
They didn't
down the
delete
road,
enough.
there's not much that you can do. Deleted too much. Movie starred Jaime Pressly.
Yes.
I'm going to say this wrong probably. I think it's Aoki. It's Devon Aoki.
Yes.
Or Devon Aoki. Holly Valance, Sarah Cater, and Kevin frickin' Nash, Big Daddy Cool himself. And the budget for this film was $30 million. I can't
For what? For a giant Buddha statue?
30. That wasn't even there. It was a
I
computer
know. I was
statue.
about to say. Like, I don't
For a
think it
drawing of a giant Buddha statue?
I'm saying, dude. $30 million. And guess how much it made?
12.
I was gonna say 10, maybe.
$7.
Dollars?
Okay,
$5 million.
but
$7.
most of that 30 million went to Jaime Pressly for her protein intake. 'Cause she had
was
pumped some iron,
jacked.
dude.
Yeah, so we had seen Jaime Pressly before in Desert Heat.
Yeah.
Where she was like the helpless waitress.
Yeah.
Okay. Who looked like she was 105 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
And then she shows up in this movie looking like you know,
She-Hulk.
like She-Hulk.
She's like, oh.
Yeah.
Just the hanging ab sit up.
This is what I will say
Okay.
I
about
didn't notice the Adam's apple
Yeah.
before.
It's very apparent here.
Jamie really seemed to take this seriously to me.
She
Like,
showed up,
did.
dude.
She showed
Yeah.
up thinking,
She knew her
awesome,
assignment.
though.
yeah.
But
Oh,
even her role, like, she was the one character in the movie that was, like, supposed to be like, I'm here to get done. And
yeah,
she
yeah.
did.
No,
Like,
no, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The movie currently sits at a 4.8 on IMDb. Exactly one higher than Elektra that we did last week, which was 4.7.
Okay, I don't even care. That is a crime. That's a war crime. Okay. If Elektra is 4.7, this movie's way above that.
Yes.
Elektra was junk.
Yeah, it was trash. Did you watch Elektra when Ryan did?
Thank God, no.
No, okay,
Don't.
good. You dodged that
Don't.
bullet. Don't
Ryan,
do it.
Ryan was like, I
PSA.
put it on and I was like, oh, this is so bad.
I have to go stick my hand in the blender.
That sounds so much more appealing than watching this.
The only other movie we did that was a 4.8 was Knockoff, if you guys remember the
This is better than that.
Gene
This
movie.
is
I don't
yeah,
even care.
Was,
much better.
that, and it's again just above Elektra. It's got a 33% critic score. I couldn't believe this. We just did Encino Man, which had a 14% critic score, and this has a 33. The critics doubled the positive reviews for this over Encino Man.
Well,
No Polly Shore.
Pauly Shore, that's what it is.
Is that what it
he brings
is?
it down.
He was great
great
in
in the
that
movie,
movie.
but it's just because his name was there, and they're like, minus 25.
I couldn't
points.
believe this. I was typing in Rotten Tomatoes, let's see, fully expecting it to be a 3 or something, because whether or not I like it is immaterial. This didn't seem like a critics type movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so when I look and it says 33%, I almost fell out of my chair. Almost in line with the audience score is 36%. So
Really?
kind of in lockstep here, critics and
Wow.
audience. So
I feel like the audience score would have been higher, but
You'd think so. There's a lot of teenage boys out there.
a crowd pleaser. Like,
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's do some quick goat math. And how many 13-year-olds times, well, they can't drive themselves to the theater. That's probably
True.
what happened.
That's what it is.
Mom, can you take me to see Dead or Alive? No. What? Absolutely not.
Or they say, sure, they pull up and they see the poster and they're like, is that it? And then just hit the gas.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We need to have the talk.
You let me see Elektra last year. This was 1 year later. Elektra was 2005. Something about the middle aughts for these incredible CGI fest, women-led martial arts movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say it kind of started in 2000-ish, but
Yeah.
getting into the women-led roles, it was later. Yeah.
This was awesome. So thank you guys for tuning in. I love that you're here ready to listen to an episode about Dead or Alive. You guys are hardcore fans. We appreciate you. If you haven't had a chance, if you've been listening to the show for a long time and you want to see how you can get more, the best way to do that is to jump on our Patreon. That's where we've got all of our bonus content. Bonus podcast, Good Movies Rule. That's a whole other show we release once a month that you can only get on Patreon. But we also record every episode, even past when the episode is over. Those are our post shows. We put those on there. You can vote in polls for upcoming episodes. You can submit your awards, all kinds of things. So if you've been enjoying the show, great. That's awesome. We're happy you're here. Please continue to do so. But when you're ready for more and you'd like to have more, jump on our Patreon, and there's all kinds of ways you can interact with us on there as well. And if you want to suggest some movies for the show or reach out to us in general, our email address is thisshowIstrash@gmail.com. We do our mailbag segments every so often. In fact, we're doing one later today, and we answer your email. It can be anything from questions for us, feedback about how crappy we did on an episode, or even suggestions for future episodes.
You know what else they can do?
I'm ready for this every time that you're here. If you really want, Madeline's got some kind of predilection with getting boxes in the mail. I guess he's never
Call it
gotten
predilection.
Okay, every time a box comes to his house, he sits there and he just holds it in his arms.
Yeah, L.E.
Smells so good.
So would that make him the package
So
inspector
pretty.
of the show?
You're the package inspector.
Coming through.
Send those packages to be inspected by Ryan to P.O. Box 383, Burlington, Wisconsin, 53105. You guys ready to jump into Dead or Alive?
I was
go.
so ready last night jumping into this blindly, by the way,
You had no idea.
not knowing anything about this. I jumped in. I just
I knew
pressed
nothing.
play. And as soon as Jaime Pressly came on, I applauded.
I
I was like, this is amazing.
I am also wearing a glider underneath my clothes
Perfect.
today. So
In case
in case I need to jump off of something,
You can't leave.
fly to my destination.
you just need to get and dip out of this episode, you might have to halfway through.
Yep.
Based on
I-
how this is going to go.
yeah, I started this, I think Monday night or something, got halfway through, didn't start it up again until last night, finished it this morning. So it took me a long time to finish this movie.
And speaking of that, we'll start off in a very picturesque place. The movie starts in this kind of temple where there's all these guards surround. I don't want to say if it's Japan or China or because I don't know.
I'm
And
beginning to think you like Asian themed movies though, because we just did Elektra
yeah.
and now we're doing this.
Okay, but I didn't pick Elektra. The random movie gods picked Elektra. This is very similar. We meet the first few scenes is just meeting people. So we meet Princess Kasumi is in this first scene. The palace is surrounded by guards, but she's inside talking to, oh God, what is that guy's name?
Kadumi?
Hayabusa. Hayabusa?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Hayabusa.
Hi.
Hibiscus.
Hayabusa is in there
Biscuits.
and he says, your brother's dead. She's
Yeah.
like, I will not believe that my brother is dead unless
like,
I
"Where's the
see
body?"
his body. Right.
He's not dead.
Doesn't seem like any proof to me.
He goes, there is no body. Then he's not dead. And he's like, can't comprehend the logic, right? Boom. He's just like, what?
You don't get it. He's dead though.
He couldn't deal with the intellect. He's basically telling her, you can't leave because if you leave to go look for your brother, you will be a shinobi. And I'm like, and that's bad because
I love shish kebabs.
what is that exactly?
Shinobi was like a video game.
An
company,
exile.
wasn't it?
That's what I found out after the fact is that Hayabusa is Ryu Hayabusa,
Oh.
who is supposed to be the main character from the Ninja Gaiden or Ninja Gaiden. I don't know if I've heard it said in so many
Gaiden.
different ways. Series.
Either way, you're going to be wrong.
Either way, the
Thanks,
internet
TikTok.
will let me know.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. That this was supposed to be the guy from Ninja Gaiden.
Well, he does go, that means you're in exile. Everybody got that? Like, just to make sure.
So what? They can't leave the palace.
Well, that's what she's like the leader, but then it's like, but if you leave, we're gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And then we just won't have one anymore.
Right.
What if they have a plumbing issue and the bathrooms are broken?
Oh.
I'm just saying.
What would that be? Why would that fall to Princess Kasumi to solve?
Well, she has to leave to go to the bathroom somewhere because the bathrooms are all messed
They
up.
have their bathrooms.
But I'm saying if they had a plumbing issue.
I think
Bro.
somebody bringing in a bucket or something.
You don't think this
problem.
is? They might not even had indoor plumbing there where they were.
That's fair.
I think it was already a bucket
It was just
situation. That's right, or a trash can
Yeah.
filled with dirt. I think that's
It's
what
not
it was.
dirt.
And he's like, "Please do not do this. I am your brother's best friend." And she says, "Well, if he's dead, then you're not his best friend anymore."
His mind was blown once
Yeah.
again.
But you just said he's not dead, and I really wanted him to just.
This was woman logic
Go in this
at
circle.
its finest. She's like, I will tangle you up in your own thing here,
And it
buddy."
worked because
It
he was
did.
very
He
confused.
was like, I'm sorry?
You won't know which way.
like, you know what? I just don't want you to be murdered. Can you just not leave?
He's talking to the guards
God.
later, and he's like, we were arguing about it for like a half hour. Finally, I just ended up apologizing. I don't know.
I told her ass to leave. God.
What if I'm not who you think I am?
You're right. This is the perfect encapsulation of how, no offense, women win arguments. They twist you up so much
Everything.
that you're
Yep.
apologizing
Until you
and you don't
apologize.
even know what
Yeah.
the hell it is that we're arguing about in the
I
first
guess
place.
I'm
Fine.
sorry.
I'm sorry
Fine,
we're more
whatever.
intelligent than you.
Yeah, you're right. Again, weird.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right.
See, yes, thank
Stephanie,
you.
I am
Works.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Are you?
We are. Kasumi goes outside. Now, she hasn't left the palace yet, but there's 1,000 guards.
There's
And
quite a few, yeah.
Her purple friend, I don't remember what her name
She looks
was.
like a Pokemon, dude.
She looks like a Pokemon. She's got purple hair.
Aoki?
She's like the Devon Aoki is the
No,
girl that plays
oh,
Princess
that's right.
Kasumi.
They say her name. I just can't remember what it is.
Ayan.
Yeah, is it Anne?
Ayan. Or
Okay.
Ayan.
pops out of the
Ayan.
grass and she's like, I guess you want to challenge me.
Have you watched a lot of anime?
Well, and she's the only
Yeah.
other woman, and she just
Yeah.
pops up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think she's Asian.
Place was
either.
a
She's
sausage
just
fest. Let's just call
there.
it.
So this was the same actress that played Hobag in Elektra. Was
Oh,
purple
really?
hair? Was purple hair girl in this?
Didn't
movie.
show.
Now you couldn't tell because she looked so different in the other one.
She
but-
looked like she had less
bad.
chlamydia in this one.
she's basically like, I am your servant, but if you leave, I will kill you. And she does the pose with the sword
Yeah.
in the ground.
Well, and like
Hayabusa.
Hayabusa.
We'll just call him Ryu.
He just like does like a superhero land, and he's like, "Don't leave!"
But he
Yeah.
And then
from a
everyone-
standstill, he does it.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
everyone around her does it.
But
I would do that,
So-
but I got arthritis.
crunch.
This is what made me think it was a live action anime. When you're standing there, and in order to talk to the person, you have to put your hand on the ground and then state
And every
your
time she
intentions.
says something, he's like, Gah!
Exactly.
So, but like all the guards looked like they actually did that with the sword.
Yeah.
But then purple hair was like, when she's doing it, it looks like she's holding nothing. And like, she looks really awkward. Like, I think they shot it where she wasn't actually, they're like, pretend to be bending down, but you're not really.
Well,
We'll
the
just film
sword
it at
was
an angle.
heavy.
Right.
Maybe.
It was weird.
It was strange.
Well, it can't be that heavy since Kasumi. Oh my god, I can't think all these names. When she pitches the sword,
Oh,
it
yeah.
flies like 100 yards.
She's just really
and
strong.
sticks into the fence.
It's
Yes.
a
a lot of
movie.
squats.
She ultimately
Oh,
decides.
sorry.
No, don't be like those people, Mel. This is what we do. Mel, at one point, when she finally decides, screw this, she kicks one of the guards' swords out of its
It
sheath.
was kind of cool.
It was awesome.
I wanted the shot of the guard going, hey. Right? Because
Anyone
it's
got
like
an extra sword?
Everyone else has a sword and you just have to stand there like
Yeah.
she kicked mine and threw it. I polished that. Chucks this sword, starts to Crocodile Dundee along all the dudes.
Yeah, none of
on
them
the
stand
ground,
up. They're like, we'll just stay here.
pacing the sword it
Yeah.
sticks into the wall, the big giant wall that she has to get over to escape.
That's pretty fast to pace with the sword.
right? As she's
Well,
she's
and,
chucked
like,
it.
She just threw it so far. And
Yeah.
She's just like, "What?" And the thing's like, shh, like a jet. I'm like, okay.
I'm saying it's live action anime.
She just forgets to like jump right and smashes into the wall and just splats.
She jumps to bounce on the sword, and it's the bounciest sword of all time because it launches her into the stratosphere.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that sword would have just snapped.
It's like she went flying.
Yeah.
Literally.
And then
Crazy.
she's lucky she had a perk or
she had the glider.
The
She had
augment?
glider
an
suit.
augment. She had the augment for redeploy glider.
I mean,
right, we
who
got them.
doesn't just wear one of those out every day?
Got those hot Fortnite jokes in here. That's what you come
we
here
have
for.
we have listeners that want to hear this, okay? 3 of them,
You're right. So she wore a glider underneath her kimono.
which you couldn't see.
Was it a
unless she's an anti-hunchback? What do you call that?
Or whatever.
Archback?
She. What's the word for an inverted hunchback? A person?
A person. Well, no, but it would be like
Perky?
I mean, do we want to be like
that mean
truly
she's got an-
anatomical about it?
does that mean she's got an inverted chest normally though?
I don't know.
She's like sticking.
All I know is when she threw off her kimono into glider, her shoes changed.
Oh, really?
She had different shoes on.
I wasn't looking at her shoes.
She
I was
jumped.
checking out that glider. I was like, that's pretty sweet.
Her shoes changed, and she looked like she was dressed to go on a bicycle tour. Completely unbelievable. Like
That's the weird part.
this the Tour de France she's going to jump into?
She also
I'm going on a pedal tavern.
I just saw one of those on the way in, by the way.
Yeah.
Her
they're great.
face looks like CGI'd almost.
Yeah.
Did you guys, she looks fake.
I thought the
wasn't-
girl's face looked CGI'd. The purple hair girl, whatever her name is.
Can I
I
have
think
another
they actually
question?
dyed her hair. I don't think it was CGI.
As she's gliding through the air after, and I don't know, this palace is 1,000 feet up the side of a mountain because she's just flying straight downward
Yeah.
towards the earth. And a boomerang comes in and she catches it, I think, or sticks into, I think she catches it.
She catches it.
That's right.
It's not even a boomerang. It's like
It's all blades.
It's a blade.
She's like,
she's like, oh,
Mummer Star.
And it says, you are invited to
the Mummer
DOA.
Star appears.
Now she's pretty high up. Who threw this thing? That's what
The universe.
They would have to throw it pretty hard, dude.
and with incredible accuracy at
Yeah.
someone that's falling
Yeah.
on a
Timing that.
glider.
They clearly learned
know.
from her how she threw the sword. So
Yeah.
That's my biggest gripe with this movie is all of these, whereas we're about to meet all these fighters that are getting invited to the DOA,
Well-
they never reveal how they throw these freaking boomerang
It's
blades.
got a screen on it though.
Yeah.
And so there's probably some sort of like tracking software built in.
Oh.
Wallaby or whatever his name is, Weather Boy.
Weather Boy.
Weather Boy probably designed it.
Wallaby.
It's an air tag.
To just get, okay, well, I'm not going to get
Yeah,
the
it's got
weeds
an
on the
air
thing.
tag.
Then that's
Physics
fine.
don't matter in this movie.
Whatever.
I'm not
Everybody.
sure if you know this, but you couldn't jump on a sword like that either.
No. And get launched 1,000 feet in the air.
Doesn't work.
So do you know how confusing it was to not know anything about what DOA was or even the video game or anything? When I'm just, there's just this ninja star that says you're invited. I'm
I
like,
didn't know
what
either.
the hell?
I didn't know anything about DOA
What's
at all.
DOA?
So no context. What are you thinking at this point then?
This is dumb.
Yep. I was like, wow, this is really bad.
Yeah.
We're
I was
5
excited.
minutes
I was
into this
excited.
movie, and I was
I'd
like,
never
oh,
seen the video
man.
game, but
Oh, I was
I
just
played
like,
the
this
video
is
game.
cool. They have the sword of infinite bouncing in here.
Yeah. I just
you know.
I don't know. I thought it was a pretty cool intro.
All right. Well, the next character we meet is Miss Tina Armstrong,
Yes.
played by Jaime Pressly. And I just want to say, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this scene. We can move on to the next one. I thought this scene was perfect.
Bless America.
Okay,
She,
go ahead.
nope, you can go right ahead.
Well, she's on her little yacht, right?
And then she does her ab workout.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was one of the 5 most important shots in the film. That's why I just wanted to mention it. Go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, she gets done with her workout. She's sitting on the front of her yacht, sunbathing.
Don't just blow past her workout. She was doing inverted crunches.
Abs.
That's what I said. You seem to have a lot to say about this, James.
No, go ahead. I want to hear what you say.
Okay. Am I able to talk about
Yes.
the next part of this, or do you have more?
Oh no, these
Up until
were
that
good
part?
abs.
Okay. She's really ripped. Anyway,
And super
She's-
patriotic.
she is.
Yeah.
She's sunbathing, and she's got some dweeby captain of
Whoever's
the boat
steering
who's
the
like,
boat.
"Oh, miss, we're in big trouble." And these like marauders show up, and then
Pirates?
Jamie's just like, "You guys are all gonna die now." Well,
true.
Pretty much.
And what's important to notice, and you ever seen the original Mortal Kombat?
No.
So the head pirate that rolls up there, right,
Okay.
is the same actor as Robin Shou played Liu Kang in the original Mortal Kombat movie.
Nice.
And so I think that was the fact that it's
Little bit
another
of a call
video
out.
game fighting movie.
Nice.
The fact they put him in there, I don't think was an accident. I was excited to see him. I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
but he ended up having a really small part.
Yeah. But
But
she
yeah.
kicks the crap out of those guys.
All 4 of
It was
them.
awesome.
Oh yeah.
The last guy's
Poor
like,
last guy.
"Should I just go in the water myself?"
Poor him on the way up. He like points his gun, and then the dude's like, bam! He's like, no
Yeah.
bullets on the yacht. Poor guy. And then he's just
Right.
like stuck in his little hole, and she's like, I'll help you. And he's like freaking out.
Yeah.
He just goes, I should jump off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that
you
was
should-
funny though, because the guy does say like no bullets because it'll damage the yacht.
The pirate
Right.
doesn't want them to shoot their guns, which is also a convenient way for them to have to fist fight
hand
her.
to hand. Yeah. Come.
Hand-to-hand fighter. They couldn't just roll up and blow her away with their guns.
Yeah. Jokes on them. She's a professional wrestler, so
Right.
and she's actually trying to be more legit than pro wrestling.
Yes, 'cause she
Wrestling's not
catches this
real.
phone call while she's on the boat. Will you stop? She catches this phone call while she's on the boat from her dad, who's trying to get her to come back out to St. Louis to finish up the tag team championship match or something. And she's like, no, I'm going legit. And
Right.
so I'm not showing up. And we don't know yet who her dad is, but her dad, we find out, is played by Kevin Nash, who's an actual professional wrestler.
I figured he was.
Yes.
I didn't know who he was, but just based off his acting skills, I was
That's
like,
Diesel,
he seems
baby.
like a pro wrestler.
I'm
Diesel.
pretty positive the only thing I know him from is Magic Mike.
Nice.
He plays
Oh, so the truth comes out. You're
Oh,
okay
yeah.
with these
Yeah.
kind
So
of movies as
Magic
long as it's
Mike's
I
Mag.
never
okay.
said I wasn't okay with this movie, did I? Not
See,
yet.
she's doing it again, James. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Apologize. No, he plays Tarzan.
Gotcha.
That's a stage name.
Perfect.
You remember
He's
that
he's
pretty
been in
well.
tons of stuff. He was in The Punisher. He fought. He was that big dude with the striped shirt that showed up at Punisher's apartment with Thomas Jane
Gotcha.
to fight him.
The first Punisher?
Yeah, he was actually in
Gotcha.
John Wick. He had a small part in John Wick, the
Oh,
very first
okay.
one. When he's the doorman that he lets go home. He's like, hey,
Nice.
take the rest of the night off or whatever. And he says, thanks, and leaves.
I thought that he did a really good job in this. Knowing that he's not a professional actor,
Right.
like he did really well, and I
did
think
do a
they
good
did a good job of using his strengths.
Yeah, and all joking aside, Jaime Pressly was very impressive in this scene. And
Yeah.
when they had her doing all the moves. And a lot of times actors that aren't martial artists, and Jamie was not a martial artist. They did some training before this, but she was believable. I thought she did her stuff really well.
She really brought it.
I think you can say that about all of them, honestly.
I think
they
so.
clearly worked really hard.
Yes.
I think what they're doing. So
yeah, all of them seem to really put in the work.
Perfect. So she gets another blade dart goes into the side of her boat. You're invited to DOA.
Who's fixing the boat? That's what I'm saying.
The guy that she's about to leave behind.
Yes, she's like, I got a new task for you for 6 months.
Yeah,
Fix this
sorry.
boat."
Fix the plaster on the side of this boat.
Mr. Belvedere.
you can never dock. You just have to be out here fixing this boat.
I'll be back.
Stay right here.
Stay right here.
Never leave. Okay. Yeah. So, and she smiles before she's even close enough to see what it is. So this is when it dawned on me that everyone knows what this is.
Right.
That's what I was wondering.
Right.
Like, how do they even know what it is? They
Yeah.
get it and they're like, oh yeah.
So it's like a well enough known thing that people, when it
Where
comes
did this
in,
come from?
they're like,
That's what's up.
That's what's up. This is what I worked so hard for.
Right.
But it's
I
super
think-
secret.
Is it? I don't know.
Hey.
Well, it can't be that. I mean,
If they know what it is,
it doesn't
can't
have
be
that much
secretive.
security since random regular people end up there too.
This is
That's
also
true.
This is true. The next person we meet is Christy.
She had a lot of talent.
She's a criminal. And the police are inside her hotel room. This is where we meet her. She's in the shower, also coming out of the water, just in a different way than Jaime Pressly.
This is a PG-13 movie, so they show her naked in the shower, but just her back.
In fact, she gets Austin powered
important.
through this entire scene. You know, in Austin
Yeah.
Powers, there's always like a strategically placed
Yep.
like
true.
teapot or cantaloupe or something.
Yeah,
As
it's
he's going
disappointing.
The police
through all
walk
the
in
things.
holding melons. No.
Exactly. She's in the middle of fighting, and a towel literally defies gravity and flies past her
I'm
chest.
telling physics don't matter.
Right
this
in
movie.
time.
Physics don't apply.
She gets out of the shower, so she's in a towel when the cops first. She's seated in a towel, being questioned by police. Straight out of the shower, full face of makeup. Don't ask questions.
It's just how it works.
Okay.
That's exactly how. I wish that's how it worked. It would make my mornings a lot easier.
She just had a plate that had all the makeup in the right spot. And just
Just boom.
Smash it in her
Perfect.
face like got it
done.
The police are questioning her. I'm going to talk through this. I'm an adult person. I can do this.
Yes.
I'm an adult man.
Adult man.
I can do this.
She gets dressed, kind of, and she puts.
Well, see, that's the thing. They're like ogling her, and they're like, "Oh, a woman putting clothes on." It's amazing.
Never seen that before.
Yeah.
but
Yes.
keeping the towel on.
Yeah.
Can you hand me my bra?
That's almost exactly.
That's pretty
Dang,
close.
I thought we were playing a recording from the movie.
She's,
That's the
she's
face I just
acted
made,
before.
too.
Give me my bra. And we get this seasoned detective goes over there and picks up her bra with his gun.
The whole time, though, he's like,
Who hands the suspect their bra with the gun
well, who hands
pointed
the-
at them?
I mean, I think they would have just backed away and been like, how about you get dressed?
How about you just get dressed, right?
I think Mahoney would have done that.
And she kicks the gun, and the bra and the gun both go flying into the air.
It was, okay, aside
This was
from...
the part in the trailer that you sent me that I was like,
Yeah.
yes, sold. Can't wait to do this.
Can I please?
Yeah.
Okay, aside
Perfect.
from the
Please put me on
fact,
this episode.
I thought the camera work and like the actual action scene was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really
well done.
enjoyed that
Again,
part of it.
you
yeah.
have a competent director. This
Yeah.
is the stuff that you get. What's ridiculous
It
is the
felt
premise
weird.
itself.
Yeah.
And that she winds up a towel, freaking knocks a dude in the face with a towel, and he's unconscious for the rest of the scene
Yeah,
with a towel. Okay.
it was weighted.
It was wet.
It was wet.
I think
that
he was, I was just going to say, I think it was just a strategic position that he decided to take. He's like, I'm going to just see how this plays out.
Got it.
Well, that was going back to the previous scene with Jaime Pressly. She is drinking a Pabst, which is very clear,
Very
but
important.
it doesn't say it on there.
It's a non-PBR.
It's a not, yeah, it's a not.
Yeah.
But she like chucks the can at the guy.
Yeah.
He's like, push.
Oh, that's true.
Have you ever been PBR'd?
You guys, it gets
Not
worse.
PBR'd.
There's another scene later that we'll get to that's even worse than these.
All right, fine.
But
Just one more.
Towel guy is
least-
Yeah,
unconscious.
just one more scene.
She's able to perfectly catch her bra, thread her arms at the same time.
That was pretty cool.
Can I just tell you from a woman's perspective that shot,
Yeah.
it would not hide everything.
I
At
feel like
least
some
not
of it
for
was
me.
photoshopped out of there.
My-
Yeah, it
my wife, when she's like catching the bra, she was like, that would not work.
exactly.
You don't think you could do it?
I don't
bet
think
if
they would-
I feel like if
okay.
I threw a bra in the air, I could do it.
You could do this and get it around your arms maybe,
Yeah.
but it's not going to go down all the way and
Absolutely.
grab everything.
Well, then
Absolutely not.
Do you recognize Holly Valance from anything? The actress who played Christy here coming out of the shower?
I don't think so.
She's done quite a few things, but the thing that I always think of her from is Taken, the Liam Neeson movie.
Oh, okay.
She was the pop star that he originally protected that ended up giving lessons to his daughter at the end of the movie.
Yeah. She's cute.
That's her.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's her. All right, so those are the only real 3 characters we get like full-on introduction scenes for. The next scene takes place.
It cracks me up when we see like the rest of them.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of guys there, and you're like, oh, I would have never known that there were men in this movie.
Yeah.
Thought it was all
They're like,
chicks,
you're
right?
invited, you're invited, you're invited.
Yeah, only those 3 women are invited. Oh,
Right.
wait, there's men. There's more people.
Yeah.
It takes place on I don't know, whatever the opposite of Soul Plane is what this plane was. Okay, it's what this. There was a
Good plane.
I almost just died. So,
They meet.
Tom
this is where
Arnold, by
we
the
meet
way.
Helena. Helena, the roller girl, is on the video screen. You know, their in-flight movie
I have
is
so much to say about her.
the introductory of like, welcome to DOA, and so Helena roller skating or rollerblading rather,
Yeah.
through the island and going, this is so exciting. You're going to be part of this, and
It
blah
feels
blah
like the intro to a Disney cruise or something.
blah. Right? Not a
You can
fight to
enjoy
the
our
death.
lush waterfalls while you get your ass kicked.
Perfect. Did anyone? I didn't
said
think
kicked.
she was going to be a fighter.
I did not expect that.
Well, during the montage of them all training and fighting, she's rollerblading.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So
She's the only one not doing
I'm sure
workouts.
that helps you.
You got to work them
fight.
glutes, okay?
We talking about Jaime Pressly?
No.
I was going to say,
Helena.
we can't
Helena.
be talking crap. The woman is a patriot.
Anyway. Okay,
on.
but Helena not doing anything was important later
Why is that important?
because then he doesn't have all the data on her.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
We'll get
Oh.
I'm just saying.
So-
strategery.
Here's who we meet
Watch
on the
this
plane. We meet Helena the roller girl. We meet Zach and his baby hair. You have like that little baby curl, that little green.
Is Zach?
And his
Baby
mustache
thing.
is green.
I wanted to kick
Yes.
that dude in the face so hard. He was so
I
obnoxious.
just wanted to rip his hair off of it. Like I just wanted to just pull it off.
It was
Yeah.
his unicorn horn.
I actually forgot entirely about him until this moment. Like,
Yeah, right.
He
I'm
is
just-
forgettable.
And the flame pants. You couldn't tell his mustache and beard were green until they were on the beach later, and they did a close up, and I was like, "Oh my god, his facial hair is green
it's
too."
like the fact
had
that I have a
facial hair?
beard right
It's
now and you
moldy.
can't tell.
right,
It's been 6 months.
I didn't even see facial hair.
bro.
It's moldy.
We also
You gotta
meet
look close.
Bass, which is Kevin Nash, the dad.
Yep.
Ryu Hayabusa is on the plane also.
Yes.
And we meet Max, who's Christie's like criminal
Slimeball?
partner / slimeball / boyfriend.
Baby daddy?
And like, how did he just board the plane and was like, "Hey, I'm coming." Okay. And why would you want, as not a fighter, to go to that?
There's no reason for
That's
him
his-
to be in
that's
this
his-
movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
if I were
100%
standing by the
fine.
gate and I saw all these people getting on the plane,
I would've left.
Like a ticket going
I'm not
wherever
going
they're
to Costa Rica. You know,
I'm just, yeah. I don't know.
Excuse me, call me an Uber, please.
They all jump off and they literally deploy like Fortnite
Yeah,
onto
dude,
the island.
battle bus, let's go.
Okay, they all fall out and start parachuting down.
Yes.
did they tip the bus driver though?
It's supposed to. You're supposed to.
Oh.
Oh, Fortnite reference. Old Fortnite reference.
They
that.
have to get to the temple by sundown, or they're out of the running of the match or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so 2 of them or 3 of them come up short in their.
They did not time it properly.
They did not
you have
time
to
it
put your
well.
marker down, and then you have to wait for the right time, and then you jump, and there's actually an angle you have to go, but then you
right.
pull later.
They end up on the beach at the very foot of this 200-300 foot tall
Yeah.
tower. That,
It's like a Buddha statue.
and it's the
thing.
3 girls
Or
that we
something.
met. It was Tina, Christy, and Kasumi are the 3 of them.
Yeah.
And they're like, y'all are on your own because I don't do teams, right? I'm
I'm a loner.
The other 2 are like, me too. And me.
let's be loners together, guys.
Such a
All go up the
nonconformist.
same way.
Yeah. Together.
And so
But
they're all going to
separate.
jump up this tower. It's the most obvious wire work scene maybe of all time. You can even see the creases around their legs where the belt straps are, like for
Well.
the rappelling equipment.
Yeah.
They tried, you can't CGI at all out.
Right.
And they're just, this scene.
It was a lot of energy expended to go up 3 stories before they were like, wait, this isn't working.
Why is there not a staircase?
It's a good
There's no
question.
staircase? There's no
levels.
elevator?
That's like
Yeah.
there's levels. Like,
So
there's
why are there not
different
stairs? Yeah.
floors,
We know there's ladders because later on, ladders come into play in
Right.
this area at the
but
end.
no, they have to go straight up the middle.
They're
and
trying to
then
prove
at the end,
themselves.
yeah. They were late, so now they got to prove themselves
Yes.
worthy.
Well, there's Christy, Tina, and Kasumi.
Kasumi,
Yeah.
then she falls, and
We are
when
not.
they get back up, it was like, oh, we don't know how to do the logistics of this. Just stand up in frame. Good enough. Move forward.
Yeah,
Kasumi, her acting at one point during
so
this
bad.
scene, she goes, "We are not going to be able to do this individually. We must work as a team." And they're all like, "Okay, fine, let's team up and work."
Whatever I have to do to get you to stop saying your
Get you to
lines.
stop saying your line. This scene is not. You cannot watch this with the volume up and somebody out of the room.
Oh,
Yep.
no, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
This whole scene was nothing but
Yeah.
effort noises. I called them.
My wife was like, "That's not how women sound."
When
For
I was doing
professional
my
actresses."
powerlifting, that's how I sounded.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
This is where we meet Victor Donovan. Victor Donovan, played by Eric Roberts, with the scuzziest braided ponytail coming out the side as Anakin Skywalker.
He looks like such a douche.
Yeah.
Like, it's his face. It's just his face.
It really is just his face. Like,
I've seen him in other stuff.
It was skeezy.
Yeah.
He's either a high school health teacher or a used car salesman.
Eric Roberts.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Or worked in like a smoke shop.
Yeah. Oh,
He works at
yeah.
Superb Video.
You guys want to vape?
He's been in a lot. So he's been
You
in
want to go
his
watch
own
this DVD?
martial arts series. Best of the Best was an Eric Roberts. So he'd done a series of martial arts films in the
I
past.
don't think it
if
was the best.
That's why they put him in this, but that's what I was thinking of when I
Yeah,
saw him in
maybe.
here, because he was in a tournament movie before.
Yeah.
I don't know, but he looked terrible, and he's just the old white guy with the kimono on and everything.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
He's
There's
like
something wrong
grungy.
with it.
just skeezy, and it's just ugh.
You know,
He looks wet.
yeah.
He looks like he smells bad.
yeah.
You're like,
He's
"Ugh,
constantly
I bet
sweating.
you're sticky.
No, you're thinking about Weatherby. Weatherby was the perv.
No. This is the
He
old
only
dude
had
who's
eyes
like,
for one
Yes.
girl.
Okay, but Weatherby, at this point, they're like, time for your physicals. And Weatherby is what? He's not doing any
Literally like,
nerd things.
yeah.
Eric
He was
Roberts.
trying to see who he wanted to be with. Okay?
Eric Roberts
Yeah.
walks in and he's like, "Oh, I
He
was,
had to judge them.
I
their
was
whole
doing
bodies.
something. I was working.
That's the sound it made too when he did it.
PC load letter. What does that mean?
He's
His hair looked really greasy too.
He's monitoring the physicals.
It's
AKA
important work.
These like
It won't
scanner
work without
things.
you in your clothes.
That's right. I can't see
Yeah,
through
and
clothes.
then Donovan comes in and he's like, "How they look?" And he's like, "They look really good." Okay.
Almost as good as my internet girlfriend.
That's right. And during these physicals, they inject these nanobots into everybody.
Yep.
This is the only plot point in the entire movie. They all get injected with these nanobots, and no one gives a crap. They're all
Yeah.
just like, "Sure, shoot them up. No problem."
and Tina, she's like, "Oh, this is really gonna hurt." I'm like, "You're at a competition,
Pretty sure it's gonna hurt.
but you're worried that this is gonna hurt." I'm
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah, they stole that from Phineas and Ferb.
Did they already do their fight scene?
No, not yet.
Okay.
At this point, they're just doing their
Or not fights? Their
But this
their
is still all
practice.
DOA day one.
No, this
Okay.
is just the
been going
voyeurism.
on
I mean, the physical.
Donovan
doing all
comes
that
in
stuff
and he's like,
supposed to do.
Donovan comes in. He's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "It's their for their physicals." He's like, "I don't remember that on the schedule."
We're just supposed to inject them with this stuff. Why are they getting scanned? All right, so we get the training montage like we talked about. After this, they're all getting ready to fight and everything. And we find out that the rules
Well-
of DOA are this. And fights can happen at any time.
Yep.
They've got these wrist bracelets that basically will come up and like, "You're up against this person," and the fight
Yeah.
starts now.
Will Patton.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And their training scene. What's her face? Bad actress.
Kasumi.
Kasumi. Which she does like this knuckle punch, which comes in.
This is important.
It's important. This movie actually had a lot of foreshadowing that they actually deliver on, which was
She does this thing where
very
she does a
nice.
full-on punch, but only like her front middle finger knuckle actually
Yep.
makes contact, but it's
She
devastating.
busts a rope.
Breaks the rope, yeah.
Breaks the
that
rope.
would take some effort.
There was actually a deleted scene where, remember that old guy that was in the tournament that they barely showed for like, he was
Yeah.
like the old, like gray-haired, long beard,
Yeah.
He's in a wheelchair.
Genfu or whatever. I don't
Professor
know.
X.
If y'all are fans of
Fang Lu.
Dead or Alive, I'm sorry I don't know all their names because I never played the game myself.
Or was that Ying Wang?
So, no, I don't know.
It was
But
something.
The point is there was a deleted scene where they shot all the stuff on the rafts that we see
okay.
later on.
Oh, yeah.
Where Kasumi does it to him and freezes him in place and they do the bloodstream
Oh, that
zoom
would've
in and
been
all
cool.
that stuff. And I'm like, oh, they like would have set up much better what happens at the
Right.
end. We'll get to that. But yes, that's all part of her
That's
little thing.
unfortunate.
The fights start, and really, we don't get a fight highlighted until after 6 people already make it through to the first round. So they basically gloss over. Bayman, Christy, Helena, Hayabusa, Genfu, and Zach all make it into round 2.
Yeah.
And then before Kasumi actually gets her first fight, we get this whole scene where she's daydreaming about her brother rescuing her
Yep.
from being kidnapped by these dudes. And she's in a bathtub filled with rose petals.
That's not how you do it.
Just take a normal bath. This thing is
But why?
freaking huge.
If there was an option though, I'm pretty sure a woman's gonna want to take a bath. If there was like 2 bathtubs, right? She's gonna go for the rose petals.
It's ridiculous.
Why has it got to be a woman?
Because
Okay.
I think
They're,
Mel.
they're
Can't I
soft
have
and
soft
they
skin?
caress your body so nicely. Why wouldn't you want to sit
dead
in the
flowers.
No. What would annoy me is getting out and having 500 petals stuck to me like, damn it.
See, they should have done that for the scene because then they could have had it actually have a real reason why she's covered.
And have the strategic place rose petals.
Strategery.
Okay.
Strategery.
Because later when Ryu comes in after she's finished with her bath
Yeah.
and she's suddenly seems into him, I'm like, breathing those rose petals seem to go straight to her brain.
Yeah.
Because she was all of a sudden like,
Why
what's up,
do you
Ryu?
invade my privacy in this way?
Wink.
Wink, wink.
Wow.
I can crack the door some more if you want to continue invading.
And then, there's something later that anyway.
All right, we'll get to that. But yeah. So the daydream about her brother, she's captured by some random bad guys in this dream sequence.
Yeah.
And
I was worried for her in this dream sequence.
Hayate is her brother who supposedly had come to DOA the year prior.
Yeah.
And disappeared, or years prior, I think even. Disappeared, and she assumes that he's not dead, even though everyone says he's dead. And this is why she's come to DOA to find him. And we see in this little flashback, it's really just to set up how capable of a fighter he is.
Yeah. She's like, I'm still cashing those Social Security checks until you provide a death certificate.
That's right.
That's what
Until
it's
then,
about.
I'm getting the money.
Well, I like that if she had left, she was going to be murdered, but then she was invited to DOA.
Right.
Yeah. So she could have just gotten the invite.
But purple hair girl is still trying to come and kill her.
Yeah.
Because as we see throughout the movie, she pops up like, I told you I'm going to kill you.
And she's like, my brother's not dead. Just help me. She's like, nope.
No.
That's what happens when you avoid a Pokemon trainer, okay? They continue to pop up.
Why don't women just say what they mean?
Yeah, right? I'm sorry.
Use your words.
Use your words.
I don't know what
Not
I
your
mean.
sword.
Also, we find out, so while she's, trying to find out what happened, I should say when she first met Eric Roberts' character, he did tell her that Leon is the one that killed her brother, which was this dude with traps the size of lawnmowers on each of his shoulders. I mean, it's just this gigantic, ripped dude.
Big dude.
I can't imagine any of you grew up watching America's Next Top Model.
No, American Gladiators is what I said.
Yeah.
I figured
Same thing.
The photography, like set director, his name is Jay Manuel, and if you do one of those little video sequences, you need to do a side-by-side picture.
Yeah.
Because Leon looks like a super, super buff version of this guy.
That's awesome.
And that was my first thought. And I was like, oh.
It's the Next Top Model guy.
Yeah, it's the next top model.
I didn't know he
looks so
worked
much
out.
better. Yeah, he really worked out.
It's all about that creatine.
Like the bleach blonde hair, the square face.
All right, I will try and find that.
It's right here.
We'll
fix that in post.
Insert now.
Also, while all this is going on, while she's starting to get the vapors over Ryu up in her rose petal bathtub room,
Yeah.
do they share that? Is that all right? That's who else is going to have to bathe in that? Like, it didn't seem like it was plumbing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
it's
Like,
I didn't know we were
That
going to need Kurt
bathtub's
on this
been-
episode. We're
that
talking a
bathtub's
lot
been
about
full
plumbing.
for a year.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think that tub's just people just been soaking in it.
That's
I mean,
why
they
there's so
got
many
the
rose
money
petals.
for it.
Take a regular bath. All right.
Oh, they're
How is it going to drain?
That's what I'm
Do you have like a
saying.
little scraper, like a pool thing?
Thank you for finally getting to my level on this.
Okay, but you didn't say that. Use your words, James.
I am.
It's not that hard.
All right. While all this is going on, baby boy Zach is macking on Tina in another hot tub somewhere else in the building, right?
Bruh.
Jamie Pressly's sitting there and he's all like grabbing on her like,
He's not
"What's
just
up, girl?"
macking- like
Yeah.
I was
he
like,
was like creeping up. He's like, hey.
Listen,
come here, girl.
You're hot.
But not worried about Jamie Pressly.
No,
I just like how she takes the ice. She's like, no thanks.
Yeah.
at the same time, worthless, pointless character Max, who has no reason to even be in this movie, and Christy are talking about how they're going to rob the place, right? Did you
For
know
10 million?
that there's $100 million here on the island?
It's like 10 times as much.
Forget
How
the
does
10
he know
million.
that?
There's no reason for
He's
any
a
of
thief.
this.
They know things.
No thanks.
No reason?
Yes, thank you.
No reason.
All right. So, but they're talking about how they're going to rob the place. So the prize money for the fight is $10 million if you win the tournament.
Yep.
Yeah.
But there's $100 million in the vault. It's the dumbest subplot of the entire film because they abandon it, they set it up, and then they abandon it until the very end.
Yeah.
And it ends up going nowhere and meaning nothing. But this is happening at the same time. It's important. So
Spoiler, by the way.
But it's also like it's funny to me that this is called Dead or Alive, and most of the fights just end with
a knockout.
It's a knockout.
It's alive or alive.
Or it's alive or alive. Or they just they're like, oh, good job. Yeah, well, we're done.
thank you. Because when they lay out the rules, they say you fight until somebody's knocked out.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and then,
the rule.
And then
Yeah.
it's like whoever falls in the water first, and then between whatever his dumbass name is and,
Yeah.
and
Zach.
Tina, he's like, oh, I shouldn't have messed with you. Good job.
you're strong.
Yeah.
He just sits up and shakes her hand, and then the fight is over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, isn't he supposed to die?
Or get knocked out. But you're right. None
Dead
of
or
the
thumbs
rules.
up.
Dead or
Yeah.
handshake.
There is no
This is
tapping
where
out.
we actually get now. While all these people are in these, Christy and Max are in the bedroom. Tina's trying to avoid getting assaulted down in the other hot tub.
Also, Christy and Max, he sets her up in the beginning with the cops.
Right, he's the reason the cops are there. Right.
And then she's like, what's
He
up
looks
with
like
that?
Sloth from Ice Age.
He does.
He has the triangle head,
my
and then his
God.
eyes are
He
really
does.
far apart.
Yeah.
I thought he was Norm from Something About Mary.
Also accurate.
Very.
This is where we finally get Leon versus Kasumi. So the dude, the jacked version of the Next Top Model guy,
Yeah.
fights the princess.
It's so true. You have to see it.
It's actually, I thought, a really great fight between
Yeah.
the two of them.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that Kasumi is 100 pounds. She's getting chucked through walls.
Well, yeah.
She's getting chucked through the heads, these crazy ornate headstands.
How she's
Yeah.
not dead and knocked out.
And every time she goes through something, she gets up I'm good to go.
The second rule of this whole thing is no weapons.
Yeah.
And what does she do? She's like, I'm going to grab this bowl and smash it over your head. I'm going to grab this and chuck it at you. I'm going to grab this and throw it. It's like, how is that not a weapon?
Everything.
She cheats the whole time.
And he uses things. I mean, the both
Yeah,
of them.
he
are
uses
hitting
an
each other
entire
and stuff.
wall, but
Uses an entire wall. Hits her with a stool.
yeah.
Right.
No, they both are cheating the whole time. It's like,
All this stuff. I mean, the dude's got it. He compared to her, he's got his own zip code, and she looks like
He has his own orbit.
yeah.
and she looks like a Funko Pop figure standing next to him. And just getting blasted through all this stuff, and she's
Yeah.
fine, totally fine. She ends up going through the wall, doesn't end up going into Christy and Max's
Her
room.
hair's
Yep.
not even messed up.
Anyway, how does she win? I don't even remember how she
I was
wins.
just
You
trying to
could have
remember.
never killed my brother.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Why not?
Doesn't she just mummer punch him?
Because if she can beat him up, there's no way her brother couldn't have.
Right.
Right.
She hadn't won at that point.
Well, maybe she had
So,
already assessed.
never know.
How crappy he was. I don't know.
My brother could go through 6 more walls.
Yeah.
All of this culminates in Christy having to sleep over at Tina's hotel room because her room got destroyed.
What a stupid
Mine's
setup.
broken.
Dad walks in because Tina
fight
gets
time.
matched up with her own father to
Yeah.
fight. So Kevin Nash breaks the door in. He's like,
Yep.
it's go time. But she's in bed with Christy.
And he's like, who's your friend?
Oh, looks like you have a special friend.
Yeah.
Well, I like the follow-up scene when she's with Kasumi.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, does Christy know about this? Oh, man.
Kevin Nash is great.
He is.
All right. Then we get to the raft fight. So the next morning, he fights his daughter on a raft. It's a very stupid scene. I don't know if you guys liked it or not. I thought it was a waste. You got Kevin Nash in your movie.
Yeah.
And you got, we talked about with Roddy Piper in They Live
Yeah.
on the Patreon. on
This should have been the
Movies
longest
Rule.
fight scene.
When you got a wrestler that can sell the crap out of stuff and do an awesome fight scene,
Yeah.
and you waste him doing more of
Splash
a
in the water.
comedy fight,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a slapstick comedy fight on a raft in the water. It's such a waste of his talent.
I think part of it was so that they could try to make it a little more believable that she could win because he's huge and if
he's
she was
7
gonna
feet tall.
if she was gonna try to take him on normal land and the rules were the first person to get knocked out, she's going down instantly.
Well, then match him up with Leon the first
Right.
fight or something like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
That's
somebody,
what I was going
or-
to say,
or
but
Bayman.
it's even less believable, though, because they're father and daughter. So
Right.
you don't
Right.
even think that he's going to take it easy on her.
Right.
No. And she's like, I need to prove myself.
yeah. And he's like, all right, we're
And then
going
he's
all the
like,
way.
Gonna fall in the
I
water.
fell in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
no,
dumb.
I'm wet.
Way to go, baby girl.
And the raft thing is weird, but they also
Yeah.
cut out a bunch of other raft stuff.
And why is Kasumi just walking on a water wheel?
Again, it's a live action anime.
She got flung up there, so
And
she's
she's like,
kinda,
I guess I'll just stay here.
I'm looking
my
for my
steps in.
death note.
So stupid.
Come on, Tina.
All right. let's pause this entire tournament for a volleyball game.
Oh my
Yes. You know what though?
And it turns into such like, they're like, come on, let's go play some volleyball. Let's go have fun. And then it turns into this whole like, now we have an announcer and scorer.
That
and
was
like,
very organized.
that was a spin-off though for something. It was like,
Yes. So DOA did its own actual spin-off volleyball game. Like,
yeah.
yes. So that's why they
Seemed
did
like
it.
more of an arcade game, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DOA branded volleyball.
Go
DOA.
search it out there. It's out there. There's a video game of volleyball game with the DOA characters that you can play. So that's
Interesting.
why they did this in the movie.
Well, and then Kasumi is in her swimsuit and like the ball rolls over to,
Ryu?
no.
Or-
Hibiscus.
Hayukin.
Yeah, that's his first name is Ryu.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I thought it might be easier just to say Ryu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it rolls over to Ryu, and then he like looks at her. He's like, ugh. Like, oh, my brother's best friend.
I know.
She just got out of the bathtub like the scene before,
The only thing-
like completely naked. He's like, oh, I can't look at this.
I know.
It
And this
feels
is
funny.
supposed to be the main character from Ninja Gaiden. It's just
The only thing missing in is his nose, like spraying blood everywhere.
So Top Gun.
I wish it had lasted so much longer.
I know.
Top Gun was the best volleyball scene
Yes.
in movies.
Right, which
Until
is why
this one.
I don't feel bad about this at all because they did this in in Top Gun, in Maverick, they did a football game instead of volleyball.
Yeah.
Where there was literally no reason for it to happen in the movie in Top
Right.
Gun. And like halfway through, Tom Cruise, let me just check what time it is. Poof, and like engages every muscle in his body to check his watch.
There's no way any of their outfits ever contained anything while they were doing anything that they were doing.
There's
saying-
probably some super glue involved.
If they were like, this is what you're going to wear in this fight scene, I would have been like,
Yeah. And what else?
does that come with a suit of armor?
Just
This is
plot
the armor.
That's right.
Good luck.
Meanwhile, it's all intercut with Ryu breaking in or trying to break into
Yeah.
the secret vaulted area.
Trying to figure out what's going
What happened to Hayate?
Trying to figure out the stuff.
And now at this point, no one's died. The first person to kill anyone is Ryu. Snaps that dude's neck.
He's not very subtle.
Well, also, why are there so many ninjas?
Yeah.
They're just like one after the other after the other. It's like 10, 20,
yeah.
30. And he's just like, whoa.
I guess I'm going to kill them
yeah,
all.
I guess I'll kill everybody.
If you watch American Ninja, you know they keep them in barrels.
Right.
They do.
Yes.
They just have.
Like a barrel
they
of
import
monkeys?
them.
They import
Yeah.
them, and they have an unlimited supply of ninjas. It's a ninja
I mean, there's-
movie rule. All
Yeah.
of the ones you could ever care to have.
I noticed there was a definite lack of hierarchy with the ninjas.
There was no color coding.
You couldn't tell, right? They were
Couldn't
all
tell.
the same color.
They were all the same. And I
But
think
the guy that got his neck snapped should have been a white ninja,
absolutely.
Yeah.
right?
He was on the stairs though.
Right,
He
so
should
why
have been
he
a
should have
stairs
been
ninja.
yellow.
Ninja was
You're right.
yellow, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, it's and where was
I have no idea what we're talking about.
I don't know.
where was Armstrong?
Okay. It's not worth
He ends up getting
Knowing.
It's not
trapped
worth
in
the
there.
knowledge.
I mean, after he fights some of these dudes, he gets trapped in the vault. or
Yeah.
whatever. We don't know where he's at for a good chunk of the movie, and that's fine with me. Now it cuts to Kasumi all of a sudden in the middle of the volleyball game is like, I don't know, she smells something in the air.
No, there was like
It's
a
woman
thing
sense.
that it was another mummer star and it went right into the volleyball.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She picks it out. She's like, I have to go.
Wherever she was going, she had to go through the bamboo forest to get there.
Also
And
a
Flo's
Fortnite
here.
restaurant. Wow. Also a Fortnite reference.
Yes.
This entire movie is just a metaphor for a period.
All right, you're going to have to unpack that for me.
I didn't actually think I was going to need to explain.
Oh, okay, that's fine. We can just have to gloss over it.
Let's move on.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
See, when a person plays volleyball,
Yeah.
I have to go.
You see, when you're of age,
That's right.
and you're playing a sport and you sneeze, stuff happens. And then you have to run through the bamboo forest.
And in the bamboo forest, your purple-haired friend shows up. That's what we call that, right?
That's Aunt Flo.
And your purple-haired
And then she
aunt
tries to kill you.
says, "Time to die." And
Yep.
we're gonna have a wire fight in this bamboo forest. And purple hair girl has a sword that can cut every piece of bamboo except the one
she's holding.
Yes. that
Yes.
Kasumi is using.
It's because she's using the knuckle technique on the bamboo.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Holding it together.
Making it more
Holding the
dense.
fibers together. Yep.
She's
Pressing
densifying
them.
it.
Whatever you two are doing, I don't care.
such
Not
is
my
the way
thing.
of the ninja.
But
They
that way-
fight for a while. It's a decent scene.
Yeah.
It was good.
You know, chopping through
was
bamboo
fun.
and having this fight. She's flying around on wires.
Yeah.
But at the end, when Jaime Pressly and Helena show up,
What are you
Well,
doing
hair
back
girl's
there?
just like,
Yeah, does she
Yeah.
fly away?
I don't know.
She bounces up.
And then she's just like in the trees,
And
but
they're
they don't
just-
actually show like where she was.
She's holding on to the top bamboo thing
But
and
also-
bends all the way down.
But also, that's like the third time she's just like, oh,
Vanished.
someone's here. I'm just going to disappear.
Right.
Like,
I
why
can't know that I'm here.
Yeah.
Can't you kill her if there's people watching? We all see you up there.
We can
Just
see
ignore
you.
her.
Pretty
We
good.
can see your foot.
No, you can't.
This is where we get your favorite fight.
She
We
did a
get
pretty good job.
after this, Zach and Tina at the Forbidden Square.
Yes.
Which I'm assuming is a level from the video game, probably.
I don't know.
Where Jamie Lee Pressly shows up for the fight in denim on denim.
Yes. That's super flexible. When I'm going for an ultimate fight, I want to wear my jean jacket and my jeans.
She could have had the JCVD pant or the
Action
Norris?
jeans.
action Chuck Norris jeans.
That's fine. The jeans, fighting jeans, fine. I thought she was just wearing that to the fight, and then she fought in it. I was like, whoa, why is she fighting in it?
Their outfit choices, they have no idea what physical activity is at all. They go from one major extreme to then they're like, you know what? Let's put her in basically a straight jacket of denim.
Let's start
This
with
should
no
be fine.
clothes, and then we're gonna go with all clothes.
Yes, exactly.
I was like, what
No
happened?
clothes to all clothes. Can we meet somewhere in the middle? Just spandex even.
I don't understand the question.
Why does she have a jacket on? What happened to her patriotism?
That's why she's wearing all denim.
That's right. She beat the crap. I mean, they were crashing through the freaking like side columns and stuff and the railing.
And they're also surrounded by
by guards and
Ninjas?
ninjas. Yep.
I'm trying to remember this fight scene.
Remember, so they're like in the middle of a circle of elevated circle,
And all the
it's
ninjas
just
come around.
It's just like
all
concrete.
the ninjas come around like concrete, and she
And this is
goes
when
through
he's
it
like, "Oh, you're strong. Congratulations."
Oh yeah, okay.
after she
It was
blasts him
so
through the
lame.
gate.
I didn't even remember it, dude.
Yeah.
Gets down on the ground. He's out of the circle. That's where he is not knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
He just sits up. He's like, you're pretty good at this.
So
and
she
I'm like,
must-
so the fight's over.
I think she just set all her own rules for every fight. She's like, you get in the water, you lose. You fall off the concrete, you
Fair
lose.
enough.
Well, she fell off of it first, so
I was happy to get through this scene because it got us to the next fight, which was Helena versus Christy in the rain.
with the closest shot in cinema history.
This is cinema.
Yes.
I think this movie sets unrealistic expectations for teenage girls, okay? I'm just saying.
Can you imagine sitting in a movie theater in the third row and it's like comes on one side of the screen? It comes.
But you don't
I feel like
realize
the
this-
facial
you
hair would have
don't
blown off my
realize-
face.
A lot.
Imagine Corey Yuen. He's like, all right, how should we what should the establishing shot of this fight be?
I will say, though, I know, like...
Can you imagine if they did that to men, though? I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, but like,
They do.
They
Have
do.
you not seen Footloose?
continue.
I was just going to say, again, like, this is what's almost frustrating about this movie is that, like, it actually was a cool shot. Like, how, like, the whole thing. Like, I'm saying, like, excluding the fight scene, though. Like, I don't know. Like, I think this movie had really cool cinematography.
I will agree with you. Like, I agree with you.
I'm not used to watching, like, movies that there's a director and like, someone with a camera that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
Yes. That it does have.
Like,
yes.
I'm, like, just...
How he chose to use it was
Yeah, like, you're just like...
insane.
This guy actually knows how to film stuff, though.
Yes.
All the other movies we watch, it's just like, what the hell
like-
is this?
But that pan, that is
Yeah.
crazy that he did that.
Well, and I was saying that with this movie, like, it was very clearly based off a video game. Whether
Yeah.
I knew DOA was a video game or not, I could tell
Yeah.
straight
just
from the
tell.
beginning.
Yeah.
But I think it's the translation to actual people and like the
Yeah.
objectifying that just makes it so ridiculous. Like it just
Yeah.
doesn't translate well.
My 19-year-old is watching. Well, Grace, you guys know Grace is on watching this with me, and she sat there. She was laughing through the whole rain fight, and she just said, "She goes, none of what they are wearing would stay on
Yes.
through any of
it
this."
would not contain anything. I
Just
can't
not
even
happening.
imagine.
I mean, if you want to
no.
get technical, back in the day, like women fighters would wear very skimpy outfits
Sure.
to help with range of motion.
I'm saying that maybe it's possible. All right. So the main point behind this fight, there is a separate plot reason for this fight, is that while Christy is fighting Helena, Max told her you have to find her tattoo that's on her body.
Yeah.
Because she has the
She's got the thing.
She's
code.
the key.
She is the key.
Why on earth would you have the code to the vault tattooed on your body, but on the back of your neck where you couldn't read it if you wanted to?
yeah.
Because if you look in the mirror with a mirror,
You would need
It's going to be double
Still
reverse,
go
though.
the
To see
wrong
it.
way.
So it would still go the wrong way.
I also like.
I need a
she's like-
third mirror.
She's like, check this out, and she goes in the mirror, and I'm like, you couldn't tell that said
Oh.
13085.
She knew. I looked at it immediately. And I said, "Oh, it's 831085 or whatever." Like that. She
they
shows
make-
Max, and
Max is
Max
like-
is the one who furrows his brow. He's like,
I'm going to need a copy of this so I
and
can
then
look at
she
it
holds
6
it up
times.
to the freaking reflection, and Max goes,
Check this out. Oh. But also, what's funny to me is that there's cameras everywhere in this, right?
Yep.
They hear everything, they see everything.
Yep.
But when they're talking about, let's steal $100 million and here's the vault key, no one bats an eye.
Yeah.
"No one
Like,
cares."
whatever.
Wallaby was too busy checking out what's her face.
And while Christy is fighting with Helena in the rain, she keeps stopping. Well, she's got her head in a certain position
Yeah.
and looking at her neck and trying to memorize it because she has to redraw it from memory.
Yeah.
Right. And I just at one point wanted Helena to just be like, "What are you doing?"
Well, I think it was supposed to
Then she
be.
whips her hair in her face.
Yeah. I think it was supposed to be like one scene that she like was reimagining.
Yeah. Right. But still, it's
yeah.
just it's a ridiculous thing to say.
Yes, this is the ridiculous part of
the
the movie.
code to the vault
Yes.
is a tattoo on somebody's body
Yeah.
that's not visible to that person without needing 2 mirrors.
Yeah.
So like so Helena's down to the vault and she's like, "Oh crap, I can't remember." She has to have 3 mirrors with her.
Yeah.
Did she know that it was tattooed on her? Or they're
She
just
might
"Hey,
not.
by the
Maybe
way,
her
we're just
dad
gonna-
did it.
We're just going to put this on your body.
Then
Yeah.
how did they figure it out if she didn't even know?
Was the combination with her luggage.
Whatever.
That's the passcode she uses for everything.
Weatherby finally decides to make a move on Helena at this little party. So he's decided after he's observed, we'll just call that, observed all of the women, that Helena is the one that he wants.
This will be my mate.
He makes a move on her while there's a little party gathering or whatever.
Call that a move?
And he just goes up and assaults her.
Yeah, it's-
Yeah.
basically. It's like, boom.
So stupid.
I couldn't tie my bikini this morning. Yeah, I know. I saw that.
She seems really disgusted with him at first, and within 5 seconds, she's reversed field.
Like, wait a minute.
Wallaby, what are you doing? Come over here.
Come over here and have a drink with me.
I was wrong about you all along for 5 seconds.
For 5 seconds.
Right.
Well, she figured she had to humor him, otherwise she'd
she'd just
end up in the water. In a million pieces.
She's trying to avoid a fate worse than death.
Yes.
I understand. All right. So at this point, the girls all go into the lab. When I say the girls, it's Kasumi, the ones that like we're all loners.
Charlie's Angels.
They're being
The ones that
loners
matter.
together. Okay.
Yeah.
They 3 of them going to look for Ryu, and they all end up getting trapped. Meanwhile, Nerd Boy is dropping the backstory on the steps with on his date with Helena.
This
right.
is the scene that I was talking about.
What's the So go for it.
Well, you can set it up.
So basically, Nerd Boy Weatherby is sitting there going, "Oh man, you wouldn't believe this, but this whole thing is just this big setup for this whole other operation we got going on." And you know, Kasumi's brother is not even dead; he's being held prisoner, and the doctor, whatever is Eric Roberts, is just.
By the way, he murdered your dad.
By the way, he killed.
Yeah.
he killed Kazumi's dad, Donovan.
I don't know if you
and
wanna
he
hear
just
this,
spills
Matt.
it all out.
But he killed your dad.
Right. Well, he's talking to Helena at this point.
Oh,
right?
gotcha, gotcha.
He's just spilling it all out.
Well,
Yeah.
Helena's dad.
Was
the one who got murdered.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Her dad also got killed.
Yeah, you saw this movie.
Yes. It's almost over. It takes a long time to pan across.
So inviting.
Okay. The fight, anyway, Order 66 goes out. He tells
Yep.
all the ninjas, get out there and kill everybody.
So on the steps, there's petals, like Japanese
It's cherry blossom.
cherry blossoms are
Yes.
all along the steps.
Yes.
And
It's covered in them.
yeah,
5 boy ninjas that come from the
Yep.
top of the stairs.
And then like 10,
5 girl
yeah.
ninjas
Yeah.
from the bottom, and they're getting sandwiched, about to get attacked on these
Yeah.
cherry blossom covered steps.
and Helena's like, I'm going to do a sweep kick, and this will knock, these petals are strong enough to blind and knock down these people.
I mean, if it works, right?
It worked for a towel.
They fight.
For petals.
It's
Yeah.
very cinematic, okay?
It is.
Cherry blossoms all over the place. The problem is there's not a cherry blossom tree within 5 miles of where they're fighting, as you can see in every direction. Not a single one.
Well,
Did they ship them in?
Weather Boy scattered them ahead of time to set the mood.
He's up there with a barrel
Yeah.
of
Barrel of
shaking them out
blossoms.
of cherry blossom.
That's why he
Oh,
was,
here she comes.
yeah,
She comes. Why is there cherry blossom petals all over these steps?
that's why he was complaining about the steps too, because he had done it like 6 times to get all those cherry blossoms up and down. Like, oh, there's a lot of steps.
My legs are sore.
And Helena ends up beating all of them, and then he says, "Remind me never to mess with you." And she's like, "Never."
Maybe in a controlled environment.
I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
Okay, but
In the ring.
the guy who played Weatherby though did a really good job at
I
like his
love
role.
that actor.
He's
Oh, did you?
hilarious. Yeah.
I love that actor.
Okay.
But I
He's
mean,
also in Shameless.
He's in Shameless. Yeah, he plays
but he's
Kev.
like yoked in Shameless.
You could tell he was an in shape dude, and they
Yeah.
tried to make him look
Yeah.
nerdy. And,
They're like, here's an extra large. Can you put this on?
right.
But he's
You still
yeah,
He's a really good actor, though. He's fun.
yeah,
No, he's great. I had no problems with him. I mean, his character was weird,
kind of a creep.
but yeah, not the actor. I thought was portrayed fine for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for an IT guy, he was just kind of there.
You're right.
Hey,
Where did they find
how's it
him?
going? I'm right here.
Oh, hi.
Were they just walking down the street one day and they're like, "You look kind of dopey. You want to
Yeah.
come to DOA?"
We
Hey,
need
you
to
want to be
hire
our
you
loser?
Yeah, hey,
to
loser.
pull off this horrible scheme. You down for that?
Hey, you get to watch women in their underwear like all day.
That's why
You wanna
he's
be a
so
part of
yes.
this?
Yeah.
All right, so we're back to the lab. All of the girls are waking up in these pods they're chained up in, and so is Ryu. He's in the fourth one.
Yeah.
So there's the three girls, and the fourth one's got Ryu in
This
it.
was a very 2006 scene. Like
It
this
made
whole
me die.
yeah.
Because Ryu, "Gah," when he sees "Good Princess Kasumi," and her nonchalant shrug back at him was she's just like, meh. Whatever.
I'm here.
Hilarious. She's like, oh, this guy. They're all freaking Eric Roberts comes out and he's like, allow me to introduce you to the future.
Sunglasses.
It's my new sunglasses line.
I'm gonna open up a sunglass hut.
I need you to promote this on your Instagrams. This is what you're going to do. It's so stupid.
This was like a 2000s era thing for movies though, because they had this with the sunglasses, and then they had the tuxedo with Jackie Chan, where he put on the tuxedo and then he could fight really good.
Right. You're right.
Like
That's very
that
similar.
was like a whole thing. Like I
Like,
don't
it's
know.
great that you have these new powers, but then you have to wear these stupid sunglasses.
Look like a
the whole time. They didn't
Yeah.
even look cool.
no.
What if it was super dark somewhere?
They got a
Yeah.
They got a big ball in the middle of them too.
Yeah.
Because what he does is he takes all the nanobots that were collecting all the data from all the fighters
Yeah.
and absorbs their powers so that he can now fight as good as all four of them combined. And the sunglasses like predict what a fighter is going to do. That's been absorbed, so he can like. You just can't defeat him if he knows your powers. That makes
That's
sense.
What I had a hard time with though is like if the only thing it's really doing is showing him what they're gonna do, you still can't always be able to counter that. Like you're gonna be able to react fast enough and do all you know.
He memorized
He
it.
mean it very fast.
But also-
3 seconds.
But
But
also,
also, something in his
like-
brain.
Oh, okay.
But then, I mean, it clearly makes his muscles and body able
It also
Yeah.
seems
to
to control
do
him.
all of that.
Okay.
as well as not just tell him what's going to happen. So they wheel Hayabusa, not
kinda like-
Hayabusa, Hayate
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
We find out that older brother of Kasumi's not dead, but he's
Then
been,
they have to do the flashback to make sure that you understand.
He's
This
the
is
brother.
who we're bringing
It
out.
literally whispers, "My brother."
I know.
Yeah.
I don't need a flashback. I remember who this was.
This is 5 seconds ago.
Meanwhile, Weatherby gets to his laboratory with Helena, and he's like, "Oh," she's like, "Can you hack the system?" And he's like, "There's 4 security protocols. This is going to be
That
kind of
he
tough."
would have designed.
I know. I was like, "Isn't this your computer?"
He would have like a root credential to just kill everything. Like he would be able to do that.
Hey, it's fixed.
Like, what do you mean there's 4 security protocols? This is your system.
Makes no sense.
And he didn't
you
set
didn't
these up
question
without
it?
you.
Yeah.
You didn't question
He's like,
him when he was like, "Hey, we have these pods that's gonna lock people in there.
Or-
Can you make sure that you can't bypass it
Yeah,
easily?"
make sure you can't bypass this.
What?
You know what the IT guy's
Great
going to say? He's
idea.
going to go, sure, here you go, it's done.
Your
I
password
can't
is 1, 2,
bypass
3,
it.
4.
That was the dumbest thing, man. Like,
Yeah.
he's got to hack into his own system.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's so stupid. Then while this is happening and Hayate gets wheeled out, I'm just like, oh, he's probably in great shape. He's been hanging on this cross for
Well, he does say,
years.
oh, go ahead. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, they're wheeling him out, and he's like, I've kept him in perfect fighting condition. Like,
Okay.
how?
Yeah.
It'd be
No,
just
dude.
injecting him with steroids? Like, what are we doing?
He's getting a sandwich every day or something.
Seriously.
Like, how is he still?
One singular
Drink your
sandwich.
protein powder.
Muscle milk. Drink it. So stupid,
Yeah.
bro. He wheels him out. It's straight up cheating. I mean, he just
Yeah.
whips Hayate because he has absorbed the power of him and all these fighters.
Yeah.
And then Hayate gets literally yeeted out of the place, and purple hair girl catches him.
There is no way. She's 105 pounds, and she just is like, yoink.
Yoink.
She's got purple hair though.
I got you.
This is where physics.
They're lovers too.
They don't
apparently,
matter.
right?
Yeah,
there was a thing?
Physics don't matter.
Because throughout the movie, she's like, I loved your brother.
I'll always be by your side. Be like, you left me here for like 2 years.
And you've been trying to kill my sister.
Yeah, excuse
Instead
me.
of coming here to rescue me, you've been trying to kill my sister. I'm like, get out of here.
Because I thought you were dead.
Let me
But
die.
I magically know you're falling right now.
At the same
Pull
time,
the ladder
after
out. Oh wait, that's later.
this happens, Eric Roberts pulls up on his sky screen all these buyers that were supposedly on the line.
And they're all just like,
watching this happen.
Yes.
He's like controlling all this with his Nokia flip phone, like as a remote control, right? He's like, bloop, bloop, bloop. I'm like, okay.
He's making the beep noises with his mouth.
beep.
So you don't have to do that.
We're transporting the payment or whatever, or
Yeah.
the details of the program.
Weatherman's
to
like,
you.
we gotta stop this.
He's like, get hacked, son, and
Do
stops it
you-
with this much time.
And then he's like, by the way, I'm just gonna click and call the CIA. CIA informed.
Can I tell you, when he goes, after he goes, time to call the cavalry, and he pulls up CIA.gov.
Yeah.
It's like CIA alerted.
I lost it.
And it lets,
When you go to the contact us page of the CIA website,
I'm sure that they monitor that very closely.
For an evil
CIA at
maniac,
gmail.com. Hey, we need you.
for an evil maniac, press
And
1.
then nothing comes of that either.
Yeah.
Like nothing comes of that.
time to
Yep.
call the cavalry.
That's pretty accurate, though.
That's fair.
They'd be like, we get a lot of false alarms.
www.
Especially from Wallaby.
CIA.gov help.
Slash help.
Help. Slash help. Slash customer care.
Sir, we got another prank email.
So also when he's like uploading the data to the buyers
Yeah.
and Wallaby's like, I need to do something on the keyboard to fix this.
Yes.
He would know where the internet connection was in the building, so he could just go rip the cable out.
That's what I'm saying, dude. But then he
break it.
couldn't go to CIA.gov.
Well, you just unplug it and you plug it back in.
And you got to wait 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, then in
Yeah.
the meantime, you can't contact
Call
the
AT&T,
CIA.
you're like, I plugged it back in.
Should have
Turn it
just
off
got
and
the
on.
phone
Why
book
is it still not working?
and called the CIA out of the phone book.
Yeah.
And
The yellow
done that.
pages.
The yellow pages. Hey, remember Max trying to rip the place off?
Yeah.
Because
That was a thing.
that's a thing that I'm glossing over because it's stupid, but he's getting into the vault. Don't care about it. Neither did
You know
I.
what he has to do to get into the vault?
What's that?
A puzzle.
Oh, that's right. A slide
children's
puzzle.
slide puzzle.
It's so great.
That's creatively the same as the tattoo.
Yeah.
Whoa.
What?
Who would have saw that?
He has
But
to
it's
pull the
only
paper
9
out, though, to remember what it looks like.
It's only 9 pieces
6
and it can only
times.
go one way.
Yeah.
Well, and how does he know to flick that one square out?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's like, think.
This is blank. I bet it doesn't
I
fit
bet he
here.
doesn't do anything. What were those numbers again? I don't have a mirror.
He's played DOA before. That's how he knew what to do.
Well,
Is that
Well, he
like a part
didn't
of the game?
memorize the code.
yeah.
He didn't.
It's like,
Eric
paper.
Roberts is running to the laboratory because he got hacked by Hackerbee or Weatherby or whatever his name
Hackerbee.
is. And
Buzz, you've been hacked.
I emailed the CIA. You're in big trouble. And he runs into Helena, who's now come out into the hallway to fight him. And he doesn't have Helena's powers downloaded.
Yep. Not properly, because
Right.
she's like, oh, I guess you didn't download my powers all the way.
Right.
Because I
So
just
they have-
rollerblade.
Bang, bang, boom.
Because I just really
Check out my thigh gap.
And no matter how many times he gets hit in the face, the glasses never come off.
I was so waiting
Okay.
for that.
Like,
Yeah.
just whatever. He ends up getting back into the laboratory.
That
though.
was okay, but they're fighting, and then he knocks her down.
And then he's just like
Question mark?
in the lab.
right. He just
yeah, he
shows up in the
instantly
lab.
teleports into the lab.
And then she's
It
just
was
like,
jarring.
Yeah.
oh.
She's like, oh no, I fell over.
And he
And
freaking
she's taking a really long time to get up for some reason.
he freaking slams Weatherby's face into the keyboard.
Yep.
And the
Leaves the
keys
key.
are sticking to his
Let me
freaking
tell
face.
you, I've had some bosses. Things have happened.
He's like,
do tell.
he now this is a big time trope. I would see. I've already. What every bad guy's got a self-destruct sequence in his system to blow the entire place up.
You
okay?
have to have it.
Gotta have
doesn't?
it.
That's actually the first thing they design when they build an island like this.
It's put in a self-destruct.
Yes.
That's bad guy 101.
They got to have the ticking clock at the end, right?
Yep.
And he sets the self-destruct and he goes to Weatherby, who's
It's for
on
like
the,
2 minutes too. Or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Like I think it's
This
3.
should be enough time.
Yeah, this will be fine.
Weatherby's on the ground with keyboard keys stuck in his face, and he goes, "Enjoy the last 3 minutes of your life with your girlfriend." He's like, "I had a girlfriend for 3 minutes. What's her name? Helena is already being referred to as his girlfriend. They've
Yeah.
had 2 conversations.
And he wouldn't even know that they were together. Like,
Right. This is what I'm saying. They wouldn't even know that it's together. But whatever.
Well, he kept going back to the lab, and all the cameras
and
were just
drooling
in her
over the
room.
cameras.
All of a sudden, you see his hand come up on top of the table.
Yep.
He's like, I can still hack. Ugh.
But he hits one key press. He was just about to hit enter when he got his face smashed. And those 3 keys didn't matter. It didn't mess up the protocol.
And then he tries to like end the self-destruct, and it's like, abort self-destruct. Cannot abort.
That's right.
Cannot be undone.
He's like, oh, it's unhackable.
Why did it even ask?
It's unhackable.
Let's make
Why'd I
these,
do that?
Let's make these the least technical console entries ever. They're not going to understand.
But
if
I
we
just
don't
like
say
that I like that it just even asks like, abort self-destruct.
Right.
Can't. Like,
Can't
what?
do it.
That's very.
Well, then what
that
is
was
the
one of the
point of
most
that?
accurate things about this movie. That it's like in every system. You're like, why is this an option?
Why is this an option then?
It's like, what are you even
I
good
clicked
for if
yes.
you can't hack the self-destruct, dude?
What do you
Task
mean I have
failed successfully.
Like, nope.
Download a new
Island's gonna
driver.
blow up.
Oh, the 4 of them have to download new drivers. That's why. That's what happens. It's 4 of them. They have so Roberts is trying to get away, and Ryu and the 3 girls are out there trying to stop him, along with purple-haired girl and
Yep.
Hayate. And they have a wire jumping contest, just kind of like they did when they were trying to get
Yeah.
up. The
You really
frickin' temple.
don't like wire work.
I
do
hate
you?
it.
You know,
It's very
okay,
obvious.
That's
the
what I
beginning,
hate it.
but so the beginning of the movie really set the tone. Like we should have expected this to be
Yes.
have wire work. I mean, it's like when you watch Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. There's a lot of wire work. in
Yes,
there.
but it's done in such a way that it didn't seem obnoxious.
Okay.
Where in the 2 movies that we've really talked about it, where it's so glaringly terrible, is Daredevil and this.
okay,
Okay.
sure.
Where
I don't believe you.
it's
or agree with you.
I don't know if it's the way it's shot. I don't know if it's the world. Like they did a very good job in Crouching Tiger of building that world.
It
to-
looked really fake.
looked like, well, sure, it looked fake, but it
Yeah.
seemed to fit the realm that they had created.
They jump out of a battle bus in this. You're telling me that you can't believe that they can float around a little?
No.
wasn't this
Towels
supposed to?
defy gravity.
What defies gravity?
Towels.
Oh, towels.
Like, what do you
Plenty
want
of
from
other
this movie, dude?
Plenty. All right. So anyway, they're going up the temple. They're trying to get out of there. There's ladders collapsing. They're trying to have this cool chase sequence, throughout. And I was like, whatever, it's fine.
You're just pretentious. That's all.
I just hated it.
You
I
just-
don't know.
you
I
hate
don't
anything
like wire
fun,
work.
dude.
That's not true.
It's
I
true.
love- I loved this.
It's true.
Shots fired.
That's not true that I hate anything fun. Okay,
Why are you the way you are?
because
That's what I wanna
there's
know.
been so many
Eddie.
times where I'm the only
You gotta
one.
flip flop.
Oh,
There's so many times I'm the only one that's like, this movie ruled, and everyone else is like, what's the matter? Dude, I said Hands of Steel
Hands of
was an
Steel is a
incredible
great movie.
movie. I
Yeah.
thought that was fun. I love fun things.
Yes.
I love fun things.
You don't even know how I feel about this movie yet.
So
I
here's
just hate
my-
wire work.
Here's my question.
Yes.
What play was it that you did as a child that there was wire work?
That's
I
a
did
good
scared.
question.
Peter
I
Pan.
didn't. Yeah, technically, you're traditionally, yes, Peter Pan, but I never did Peter Pan. So there was
That's
no
why
wire
you're
work.
mad, because you didn't get to do wire work.
I just think it looks stupid. I think used in the right way, sparingly, can be done where you almost can't even tell that they're doing it. But in this stuff is so obvious. And like when they're all jumping out onto when they're first escaping the lab to get out into the temple area,
Like they would have just fallen down.
they just
but
jump.
right
It's
at
the
the end, it was
straight
like,
line jump. And they're just like, you know what I'm saying? It looks
No,
terrible.
it definitely. It's because it's like I said, physics.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It defies the laws of gravity
It takes
in
you
such
right
a
out
way
of it.
that you can tell that it's just not
But you weren't
even
upset
close
about
to real.
the towel scene.
I loved the towel scene.
Towel scene was
But
great.
that defies gravity. That is like that towel was on wires.
It wasn't on wires. It was done
wet.
with CG.
Okay, but I'm just saying though, like your gripe is that it looks fake, but so does the towel scene.
The towel scene
This
didn't
whole
look
movie
fake.
looks fake.
Towel
Yeah.
looked real.
It's a video game movie.
Yeah.
It's all gonna look fake, man.
Then I think there's ways, and now they don't. How often do you see wire work done anymore?
Not
They
often,
don't.
yeah.
Because they can just use computers, and
And
in
it
the
looks
computers,
stupid.
not always. When it's done well,
Sure.
the people travel the way that a human could travel, or at least on a natural. Like, let's say somebody makes
Right.
let's say
Make
like,
an arc at least, yeah.
make a superhero movie where a person is define what a human could do, but it still looks a natural
Because they'll make it
movement.
actually.
Well,
arc
see, and
instead of
that's-
just
that's
jumping
during-
in a straight line across the thing.
Yeah.
It just looks stupid.
That's during all the fight scenes of this though, where like they flip and then before they give them the kick to like
Right.
shoot them back, they just like hovered in midair for
Yeah.
a second, and then
Right.
it's like oh, and it's
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
but it was.
I still think
That's-
it
it
was
was
fun.
meant to be like
It's supposed to be suspended reality, bro.
Just as Eric Roberts is about to get away, we got to cross the finish line on this. Do you feel like you haven't had a chance to say your piece on this?
It's fine.
Okay. I felt like you've said your piece.
It's fine.
I mean, he got to throw a flip-flop at your head.
Just true. He did. He did. Just as it seems like Eric Roberts is about to get away, Kasumi Mario jumps up and knuckle punches through a floorboard right in the sole, the instep of Eric Roberts' foot.
That would hurt.
Frickin' freezes him in place.
Yep.
And then it's the kiss of the dragon.
Oh,
Kiss
you
of
said the
dragon.
thing.
I did say the thing, and I said it right.
Yay.
Right. Because it's
You're welcome, husband Ryan.
Ryan Farrell. You're welcome.
It's an acupuncture point at which it's administered in a certain spot that causes all the blood in the head to collect in the head and not go back to the body.
Wow.
So it causes paralysis and
Is
then
that how that
eventually a
works?
brain aneurysm.
So that's a real thing.
Sounds painful.
I will read his text verbatim.
Oh,
Great.
no.
We don't have 2
I
hours.
wanted to hear a Ryan
Yeah, so-
Farrell text.
It's the forbidden point on the body that, when punctured, traps the body's blood in the head and leads to quadriplegia and eventually a brain aneurysm.
It
That wasn't the only forbidden point in the body in this movie.
Anyway, the place blows up and he's frozen and he can't get away. And literally,
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool shot.
Yep.
Where the explosion just came up around him while he was.
And he was only like
frozen
the
in
second
place.
person to die, right?
In the whole movie.
Yeah.
See, I
Well,
thought
except for the
I thought he
40.
was the only one.
Yeah.
40 Stair Ninjas.
Yeah, the
Force-
Stair
They all
Ninjas,
died?
she
I thought
swiped
they
her
just
sword
knocked
on him
them
at
out.
least.
Yeah.
They
For
weren't
some of them.
qualified Stair
Yeah.
Ninjas, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The stupidest thing still hasn't happened yet. Okay. They are on this 300-foot tower, right? And
Yeah.
they're like, we've got to get off of this thing because it's about to blow up. So they jump. They're like, we're going to jump into the ocean. This is how we're going to get away from this blast. But they're not jumping off of a cliff into the shore is right there. Okay?
Aim for the bushes.
And so it's like the
Yeah.
aim for the bushes thing. And you know, it takes the ocean a little while to get deep, just like any body of water. They would have had to they jumped over the beach into the air. I'm like, this isn't Minecraft where you can just jump into the water
The explosion
then the
pushed
whole-
them.
and you're good to go.
And
There's
the whole
wire work
building
involved.
collapses into the water
The whole-
where they are.
Yes.
So they would.
So they had to clear that
died.
also.
Yeah.
This
I don't see
Well,
the
and
problems.
the other 3 guys or whatever in the vent, and somehow survive.
they go down the chute. And you're right, and they are fine too.
Yeah,
We're good too.
we're fine. I didn't get any of the money though.
Hello up there.
So Max's
I'm very
entire
badly
reason
burned.
for being there was like completely null and void.
That's what I'm saying.
at
There's
that
a
point.
pointless character.
It made no sense.
He absolutely is.
And I love how they ended after they all end up in the water. Like, here's all the horniest shots from the whole movie.
Yep.
They just like rapid fire montage.
Did you want to see these again?
Did you want to see all this again? Here's all
Oh,
the
and
horniest
I like that.
shots.
I like that it jumps to 1 week later, as if it has any relevance to the
doesn't
movie. And
matter.
they're
Right.
Like,
Could have
oh,
been tomorrow.
let's take all 300 of these people, and it's a 1 week. Why did you even show that?
Didn't
need
matter.
to.
It
Yeah.
did not matter.
They're back at the
all.
palace, and Kasumi's guards trying to kill her because she left.
Yeah.
And they're all going to beat them up together, the 4 of them.
Right.
That was.
That's the end of
At
the
that
movie.
point, if I were a guard, I'd be like, nah.
I'm actually just gonna go home now.
Yeah. It's like, I've been waiting for you for a really long time.
Yeah. They're dedicated.
They don't go anywhere, apparently. They're like, we'll kill you if you ever come back here, but we're not going to come after you.
Yeah,
That's
you better
purple-haired
run.
girl's job.
And then where did she end up? Was she in that pack?
She was in there going to fight them now with them, I think.
I didn't know.
So
don't
she's a traitor.
Who cares?
She's a.
She got the love of her life back. It's all
Yeah.
about men. That's
It's
all
time-
we care about as women.
It's true.
It is. It's time to give this movie some awards, all right? Like we always do. And we're going to start with the most prestigious award we give out, and that's the Will Patton Award for Intensity.
You want a war?
No, we don't do it anymore.
you!
So Will Patton, I'll explain afterwards.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night! And if they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm gonna take every last one of you out. You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans.
Yeah, that's right. Will Patton brings intensity to every role he plays. And so we give out an award in his honor every single week to the most intense actor in the film. And yes, Mel, as you had mentioned, we generally take Will Patton's head off the wall here and come and display it. But he's fallen off the wall one too many times. So his chin is all messed up and no longer stands up. So it just folds under now. So he's going to stay there on his place. See how the crease in the chin?
I see.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
it's,
that's
that's
not
an intense
intentional.
crease.
Intentional. Yeah. So it's been dropped too many times.
Sorry,
we are
Will.
going to start with Ryan Madeline down there at the end. Ryan, what's your nomination for the Will Patton Award?
Steve Howie,
Who did he play?
Weatherby.
Weatherby. Did you take both
No,
of
I
the
just took the
flip-flops?
one and threw it at you.
Where's the other flip-flop? All right, go ahead.
Here,
Sorry.
you want mine?
It's right here. You just got water everywhere.
All right. Go ahead.
He was intense, dude.
So stupid. Okay.
He was hacking the system.
Oh my gosh. All right, Mel, who's your Will Patton nominee?
You know, I got to go Jaime Pressly.
Jaime Pressly.
Sure.
Yeah,
I
man.
can see that.
And she sold it. She went for it.
Yeah, I also went with Jaime Pressly because it seemed, like I said earlier, the only one that took this seriously. I know other people, I don't want to take away from them, probably put a lot of work in.
I think that was, again, like I think the other women understood their assignment too, though, where like they were there to look pretty and Jaime was there to look like a badass.
Right.
And so I think that's like, you know, I think they all work hard too, but
They did, but I really believed it from her.
Oh, for sure.
Not Jaime Pressly then I'm taking it, Stephanie?
No, I really like her.
Okay.
But I like the one guy. He doesn't have any lines. He has a hat on.
That's always a good sign.
And he's the one that gets like the Max kicks his shoes at him.
Bayman.
Bayman.
Yeah, or Bayman, whatever.
Bayman. Mr.
Bayman.
Mr. Bayman.
Oh, yeah.
He always looks like this in every scene.
He did. You're right. Just
He has the same face in every single. He's like, oh, no
That's
matter what
fair.
he's doing, and it's
true.
really intense,
Yeah.
and that's
True.
who I pick.
That's fair. So here's what we had our patrons playing along with us today. And today we had Mr. Matt Mulholland. We love whenever he's
What's
on.
up, Matt?
And Matt says, look, this is going to go to Jaime Pressly, the only actor
go.
in the movie who can actually act and barely the least obnoxious. But she's also smoking hot, so there's that too. So that's a third vote for Jaime Pressly.
Matt, you are correct.
Also joining us, Ranger Hicks, and he went with, you guys are going to love this, Brian White as Zach, little green-haired Zach.
There you go. He was intense.
He was.
Yeah.
was not.
He was all over
Yeah, he
Jamie.
was.
He said, in a movie where it seemed like no one took their job seriously, except for Jaime Pressly, man.
Yeah.
It seems
so
like Brian
bummed over that.
actually did his homework and played the game, maybe. I'm not saying he's the best actor to portray a video game character, for I think Lyndon Ashby as Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat deserves that award, but he is without a doubt the most accurate portrayal of any DOA character in this movie. So you see, we've got a guy here in Ranger Hicks who's actually played the game, and that's influencing his decision here
That's
on who
more
did the best job.
research
So
than we do.
that's fine. Chris Cordray also joining us. I love it when look at a murderer's row this week. Matt Mulholland, Ranger Hicks, and Chris Cordray.
Kill them all. I mean,
Chris, he says, before my answers are revealed, I would like to note that I watched this movie while in a feebly constructed white man version of a sweat lodge so that I could spiritually connect with Bob over a great distance.
wow.
And I believe our answers are linked for this movie.
Was he in a microwave?
For Will Patton, he gave it to Pirate Captain Liu Kang, Robin Show.
All right.
It's actually a good choice.
I didn't know that Liu was enforcing the South China Sea. I forgot he showed back up at the end.
Yeah.
That was
With the
actually my
arm
favorite
cast.
scene.
What?
When he's
That was
like,
great.
Yeah, he's in the arm cast and he's like, oh, it's our lucky day. You're coming upon a wreckage. What about that is lucky?
What are you gonna
Like,
loot
what are
from
you gonna
this?
do?
That's true.
And then he turns Jaime Pressly over and he's like, oh no. That was
And then they apparently all drowned.
yeah, because they took their boat.
He says, I didn't know that Liu was enforcing the South China Sea and getting some booty in between Mortal Kombat tournaments. He was so intense when ordering around his seamen. I love it. I love it. Oh, give it up. Come on. No, give it up for Chris. I mean, give it up for Matt, too. They're both awesome.
All of them, sure.
All right. That means with 3 votes, it's going to go to Jaime Pressly.
Yeah.
The Will Patton Award for intensity. Well deserved.
She was my second choice.
Yeah, that would
all
be my
right.
second choice too.
She was good. All right, the next award we give out is one that you probably don't want to win. It's the actor who did the worst in the movie, the one who gave the range, or the one who displayed the range of a trash can filled with dirt. It's the Steven Seagal Trash Can Full of Dirt Award.
Trash can, oh trash can, it's a trash can full of dirt. Yeah.
Love never dies, and neither do they. Love is eternal, and that's a long time.
And that's
Such a long time.
In case you don't know, eternal is a long time.
It's
Forever.
that ass pan was eternal. And that was a long time.
it never ended.
Never ended.
Go to the ATM.
All
There's a
right.
fee.
Madeline, who's your nominee for the trash can?
Matthew Marston.
Who played?
Max.
Max. Max was terrible.
Yep. He served no purpose and he was terrible.
Double
he was
whammy.
basically just like,
$100 million.
it's a lot of money. And that's a long time.
That's a long time. Mel?
I had to go with Kasumi.
Kasumi.
Yes.
With Devon Aoki.
Yeah.
Devon
Yeah.
Aoki.
I
I don't know
mean-
which one.
She gets honorable mention on my side too.
There was no acting there.
None.
I mean, you can appreciate a good trash can every now and then. Just, look at it. That's a well-built trash can. But
If you find no body, then my brother's not dead.
But like, has she had a lot of Botox? Because her face doesn't move.
she just has no personality.
She was terrible.
Yeah.
She was bad.
I also went with Aoki as my trash can. She was awful. She's clearly very attractive. She's more of a model, I think, than anything. I know she was in Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh,
I think she's
that's-
in some other stuff. But it was like
Interesting.
talking to a doorknob.
It was like an
Yeah.
American Ninja 1.
My doorknob has more
Okay,
personality.
right? She's just like, guys, we cannot do this alone. We have to team up. And that's about the amount of inflection
Yeah.
that she had in her
Donovan.
performance.
My brother died here.
Tell me about it.
Terrible.
You are invading my privacy.
Why do you invade my privacy in this way?
This is my privacy area. Why are you here?
Rose petals.
What are you doing, Dave?
I also
can't do
chose
that.
her.
Yes, that's
Nice.
a threefer.
Yeah.
I love it.
Actually, I'm gonna switch mine to hers.
She was a
sucked.
block of wood, man.
Yeah.
She sucked.
True.
She was like watching paint dry.
She
Yeah.
was. She was about as interesting as the countryside rolling past while you're driving in a car.
I'd rather eat
That's-
lead paint
Nebraska.
chips.
That's like
Kasumi was Nebraska.
She was.
Yeah.
Like driving through Nebraska.
Like the windmills in
and
Indiana.
she's an archback too.
Windmills in Indiana are at least semi-interesting.
She's an archback. Don't forget that. All right, here's what Matt Mulholland had to say. He said everyone involved in the film, the entire movie, belongs in the trash can.
Matt, come on.
Everybody.
man.
Yeah.
Jamie
Matt.
Pressly.
He didn't like it.
Ranger Hicks said, "Oh boy, am I spoiled for choices in this award." However, before I say who it is, I will say that Devon Aoki had no right to play Kasumi. If you're going to compare DOA to, say, Street Fighter, Kasumi and Ayami, I'm assuming that's who this other girl, the purple hair girl, are essentially the Ryu and Ken of the game. They're the leading characters, the ladies on the front of the game. And she can't act at all. She has no expression in her face. She's more of a model than an actor. And it shows. However, even with that feeling, this trash can belongs to Matthew Marsden as Max.
There you
There
go.
is absolutely no reason for Max to exist in this movie. He's a side character for Christie to push the plot of, oh, someone's pulling off a heist during the tournament. Well, I got news for you. The Quest did it better, okay? Which was the same freaking plot line from that movie when we did that one,
Oh yeah.
right?
Wow.
same.
I mean, it really didn't have a plot point.
You
Yeah.
could have had Christie attempting to steal from DOA Tech. That's the name of the company that runs the tournament. See, he knows everything about this game.
This guy.
You could have had her steal from that by herself,
Yeah.
and it would have made it much more interesting.
Yeah. She don't need no man.
Replace him with a trash can and watch Bayman get his ass handed to him when he punches a trash can and a shoe is flung out of it and hits him in the gonads.
That would be great. We didn't even talk about that fight, but that was
No, it
such
was
a lame
stupid.
fight.
He hit him with a shoe.
Yeah.
Who throws a shoe?
It was an accident.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't a hat.
Or a towel.
Chris goes, we've
Or
got
a
another
Pabst.
movie where there is no wrong answer, but y'all tell me let me know if this is the wrong answer. Princess Kasumi?
Nice.
Chris, you're not wrong.
She was told that she'll be killed if she leaves the ninja compound and makes a certain face. She then jumps off a mountain and hang glides while making the same face. Later, she gets punched by a giant man and is making the same face.
It's just her face.
Then plays volleyball while still making the same damn face. That face has got to change when she sees her brother, right? Who has been presumed dead for a year? Nope.
No.
Same face. If they compared two videos of her, one of where she's getting married compared to a video of her taking a poop, it would be the same face. All right, strong take.
They're like, have you ever had fun? Imagine that.
Imagine that. Imagine a time when you were happy.
So Devon or Devon Aoki, however you say your name, you are the winner, the proud recipient of the Steven Seagal Trash Can Filled with Dirt Award.
If you email us at thisshowstrash@gmail.com,
Yeah.
we will send you your award.
We'll make sure you get it in the mail.
And send us your reaction shot to getting it.
Yes, please. The next award we give out is the Steve James Unsung Hero Award. We give this to the person in the show that had a small part, not a lead role, but really made the movie better for being in it. Who is the unsung hero from a smaller part in this movie? And since it's clear they didn't prepare an answer because they're both digging into their phones, I was going to go with Stephanie first.
That's
Kevin Nash.
Me too. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Kevin
what I was
Nash,
going to say.
Agreed.
Kevin Nash was awesome.
Yeah.
And he deserved a much bigger part.
Yeah. They did him dirty.
For sure.
Maybe they couldn't afford him, and they're like, we can't do a whole fight scene.
We can get Kevin
We
Nash
got
for
30
$10
million, but we can't have you.
So what are we going to do with him? We'll do
Have him
a
jump in
water
water.
fight. And that's all we can afford from Kevin Nash.
I wonder if they let him pick that scene. Like, what do you want this scene to be?
Okay. That's a weird take.
I want it to be like water yoga.
4 votes for Kevin Nash. Let's hear what the guys had to say. Matt said, unfortunately, there was no unsung hero in this movie. It was straight up trope the entire way through.
Wrong.
And the only surprises were being the lack of showcasing some of the other fighters. So Matt didn't give us a trash can and did you answer any of the awards?
Jeez, Matt.
Come on, brother. You got to give us something, man.
He didn't like the movie.
He hated it. Clearly, he hated it.
It's all right, Matt.
But this is when you got to dig deep, buddy, and that intestinal fortitude's got to come through and give us some kind of answer.
What'd you say?
You got to have the intestinal fortitude to power through.
Intestinal.
Oh,
Yes.
like Weatherby.
I'm saying, dude. We love you, Matt. We love Mulholland. Give some answers. Ranger Hicks said Kevin Nash is Bass Armstrong. Look,
There we go.
I have more to say about Nash's portrayal of Bass in my top 3, but I will say that he was a treat in this movie. He has comedic chops, maybe not John Cena comedic, but pretty good. I would rather have watched a movie of Bass and Tina Armstrong taking the professional wrestling world by storm than whatever this mess
That'd
was.
be sick.
That would be great.
Great movie, dude.
Because she was ready for it, too. She
Oh,
could
for
have
sure.
done it.
And Chris Cordray said, now this was tough, so I pick Eric Roberts, or he goes, so do I pick Eric Roberts' Jedi Padawan hair braid? Or maybe Ryu being the first character to murder someone by walking up behind an innocent security guard and snapping his neck? Well, this one's a tie for me between Weatherby and Hayate, but I'll go with Hayate because he didn't have much screen time to sell his character, but I liked what he did, except for when he got kicked in the taint by Eric Roberts. So with all those votes, though, Kevin Nash is going to win the Steve James Unsung Hero Award. Good job, Kevin.
Congratulations, sir.
So a little bit of preamble I got to give before our next award, because we're actually changing this award. And if you didn't know about it in advance, I'm not sure if I told you in advance, Stephanie, it's okay to go with who you were going to have originally. But we realized, and I'd been thinking about this for some time, actually maybe even cutting out the top 3 completely, because it just felt like it was redundant, because a lot of times now that we've got the Unsung Hero Award, whoever is your Will Patton and your Unsung Hero usually ends up in your top 3 anyway, and all of our awards are actor-based.
Right.
So I said, let's do, and this was actually through talking with some of the people on our Discord, our Patreon,
Yeah.
that kind of helped me suss out this idea. So thanks to those guys that are on there as well. But we're going to make this our top 3 favorite things. It can be an actor. It could be a line of dialogue. It could be a truck. It could be the costumes. It could be literally anything. Okay. Just come up with 3 positive things about this movie. Try and find the silver lining. What were your 3 favorite things about Dead or Alive? So, Ryan, what were your 3 favorite things?
Sorry, I'm just looking at Steph is like
There was a
falling apart.
I'm in.
She's like, yes, the costumes. That's a good option.
Yeah. I
No,
can't wait.
don't steal mine.
So I
Oh,
was-
don't come to me first then.
I would say that Jaime Pressly definitely gets called out on this.
Okay.
For me, because you could just tell she had done the work. She doesn't normally look like that. She got like yoked for this.
Yes.
And then I would say the cinematography I really appreciated in this.
You mentioned that a few times.
Yeah. And then third would be the fact that they complete the thread of like these foreshadowing. All the foreshadowing gets completed. Like even the knuckle punch, even though they cut that scene, they still like show it in the beginning and then they follow through. It's like there's so many movies we watch that they just throw all these breadcrumbs out and they're like, I hope you're paying attention because none of this matters.
That's true. So fair enough. I think those are all good answers. Yeah. No,
Those would be my
very well
answers.
shot, I thought. Yeah. Mel, where you at?
Jaime Pressly.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yes.
Very well shot cinematography.
Oh my gosh. We're different.
the wide
There's
shot.
one shot he's thinking
the
of.
establishing
The pan,
shot.
the pan, the
yes.
pan.
Oh
And the third one was a little thing. The sound effects
Oh,
the video game sound effects that happened for all the kicks, punches, the like reload sounds and stuff.
All that stuff. That's good.
It was
They did really good with it.
It was really cool.
Very cool. All right, Steph. Who, what, how, when, where?
Oh, well,
All of it.
all the above. D. I liked that you could tell that it was based off of a video game right from the start.
Yeah.
Even
I'm the idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, but sorry. Sorry, not sorry. So I didn't know of DOA at all. I've never played it. I didn't really have any information on it, but pretty much immediately when Kasumi was launched 1,000 feet into the air, I was like, okay, this is definitely based off of like a video game-esque type of thing. I thought it was fun. The concept was fun. It was entertaining. My favorite line of dialogue is when the sunglasses fall off of Donovan and you just hear, no. Like as they slow motion slide off of the ledge, he's like, oh no.
I'm so boned.
Yeah. And then he gets up and he runs away and he's like limping.
Yeah.
And then what was my third one? Oh, when Zach picks up Jaime Pressly's character and spins her around and he sounds like an airplane. It's like, and then he throws her.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
See, it's already working out great.
This is great.
Now, our
Love
patrons didn't know about the change, so they're going to give us our top 3 performances, and that's fine and well and good. Matt Mulholland said number 3, the island that they fight on.
There you go.
Hey.
Number 2, Jaime Pressly.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And number 1, the end credits. Matt really hated this movie.
Well,
he's happy when the end credits showed up.
He didn't even know about the new way of doing the awards, and he did it.
And he did it also without even knowing. You're right. You're right.
Matt, we appreciate you.
Now, Ranger Hicks used to, I forgive me for not knowing this specifically, but it was either another podcast or an online medium where he used to either write or talk about video games. So this is why I think Ranger Hicks had a lot to say about DOA and all this stuff. So good stuff from him. But he went with number 3, Brian White as Zach. I've already stated my feelings about Brian. I think he was the most accurate representation of the character in the movie. Sadly, he disappeared halfway through the movie and you never hear from him again. Number 2, Kevin Nash as Bass Armstrong. So in the game, DOA, Bass is a very clear and evident reference to Hulk Hogan.
Oh.
So my immediate question is, why not get Hulk Hogan to play the part? But in the game, they get Kevin Nash. So I assume it was some kind of mid-2000s. He was still busy wrestling, whatever. But I feel someone dropped the ball on that. And then to ask, okay, why not have Kevin Nash imitate Hulk Hogan? I can't help but think that Nash could probably nail a good Hogan impression. Man has worked with him for decades. I assume he didn't because either no one suggested it because, holy crap, there were language barriers, or Nash felt it was inappropriate to mock Hogan.
Maybe.
Even still, Nash brought it to the movie. I loved watching him on the screen. Easily my favorite part of the movie. That's what I was talking about before, is that he's obviously dressed like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
right. He's got the bandana, the mustache, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And in the game, apparently, which I didn't know until Hicks mentioned here, it's a clear reference to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
So why not just get Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
And at that point in the mid-2000s, I don't think he was doing much. But he was kind of old at that point, too.
Well,
that could have been it.
He might have been having other physical issues, too. Who knows?
Also true. But if Kevin was just told to do Hogan, he could do it. I've heard him imitate Hogan before, like on podcasts and stuff like that.
Nice.
Brother. So, I think he could have done it for sure.
It's pretty tough.
Guess who Hicks' number 1 was? Jaime Pressly as Tina Armstrong.
Yeah.
So I realize I've been harping a lot about how that's not like how it is in the game. Honestly, you're about to hear it a lot more. So let's just talk about adaptation over pure representation. There is no way possible that Jaime Pressly could accurately represent Tina Armstrong, and I think no one should ever demand that. However, I feel the role was adapted very well to her abilities, and in return, she shined the most out of the main characters. She's also admittedly put in some work for the movie, and she was mildly disappointed that overall the movie fell off its tracks. She even admitted that bad stuff happened, and personally, I commend her for doing what she could and feels like she deserves my number 1 spot. So, yeah, Jamie's had a lot to say over the years about this movie.
Interesting.
Go check out some of her thoughts on this. Yeah, I think she thought it was going to be a big break for her.
Yeah.
And she put a lot into it, maybe thinking, okay, franchise or something like that.
Right.
You can do a bunch of them, but it just didn't happen.
Well, it sucks because she's a really competent actress.
Yeah. I loved her in My Name is Earl. Did you ever see that? Oh, my
she's
God.
What a great
hilarious.
show.
In
She's
that.
great. And then in Joe Dirt,
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
plays his sister.
Wow.
Well, not really, but
I know. Chris Cordray said number 3, Jaime Pressly. Fight between her and Booger Green Zach was actually good. She took some things seriously and actually conveyed emotion. Number 2, Weatherby finally gets some love
There we
here.
go.
He was a silly that came through in the end.
hey, he got my Will Patton Award, bro.
And number 1, Chief Detective Chad McCord. His improvisational skills hold no equals. When Christy asked for someone to hand her the bra in that Hong Kong hotel
In Bangkok?
this badass detective unholsters his primary firearm, picks up the bra with the handgun, then points the firearm at her body with the bra dangling from the front sight, all while the director was frantically waving at him to stop and end the scene. Bravo, you magnificent bastard. Finally, guys, so being that this is a fighting game and a video game, and there's lots of guys in this movie that are freaking yoked out of their minds,
Yep.
it seems like it would be pretty obvious where we could slot Arnold Schwarzenegger into this movie, because we always ask that question,
Yeah.
how would Arnold improve this movie?
Yeah.
So is it as easy as just throwing him in as Bayman or as Leon?
He should have been Donovan.
Katsumi.
Okay, hold on. One at a time.
Kasumi's
Donovan.
brother.
I've got a different idea, but let's go through these ideas first.
Would he have the skeezy braid still? I couldn't imagine Schwarzenegger with the same Eric Roberts hairdo and
Yes.
the skeezy
Just a
Padawan
great
He
braid.
looked like Brendan Fraser from whatever.
Encino Man?
Well, no.
Oh.
Well, actually, yes. I was thinking George of the Jungle, but
yeah.
Same thing.
These are my glasses, okay? Be
his
great.
muscles were just for show before.
That's right.
I can't do his accent at all.
It's like Arnold putting on a VR.
Could you
think,
imagine like his getting punched in his instep and Arnold would be like,
Yeah,
I
that'd be perfect.
couldn't.
You said the princess?
Kasumi, that doesn't make any sense.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Weatherby.
Arnold is Weatherby.
Yeah, dude. He's just like, is he?
It's time for your physical. Well, can you imagine him trying to hack something and just slamming the keyboard with his thin palm? It's for security protocols. I have to slap this keyboard harder.
No, I figured with the princess, I mean, he couldn't give any less.
No, but he's
Emotion.
actually a competent actor. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Right. And then it would make it kind of awkward for the whole grunting, climbing thing earlier in the movie.
He comes in, he's in his rose petal bath. But
Why do invade my privacy?
That's right. Why did you come in here?
I can't do his accent
Because I'm in here
at
and I'm
all.
trying to take a bath in these rose petals. Okay, this is my me time. And you're in here with your business, trying to talk to me about my brother. Who cares? I just want to soak in this rose water.
Get out of here.
Been here
Get
for
out of here.
centuries.
They're going to scrape the tub after this.
Can you imagine how hard Arnold's body water towel would smack? People would be decapitated.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. What about
Snap their neck.
what if Arnold was the purple-haired stalker that had kept popping up out of nowhere?
He just
would've
climbs
been
up
one
in the
and done.
bamboo trees and they all snap.
That's what I'm saying. Dude.
I love your brother.
That's right.
You can't leave. And done.
That's
Dead.
right. That's right. Listen. Oh my gosh, when she goes to jump on the sword.
Yeah.
And he's just
Yeah.
that would just be it. He would just catch her.
That's it.
He'd do like the King Kong smash where he just like throws her around.
Matt said, look, Arnold could not make this better. He really hated this. While the answer is usually yes to this question, not even Arnold could salvage this movie. However, he would have been a better pick for Bass, Tina's dad, even though the character was clearly based off Hulk Hogan, who also would have been a better pick. Also, Jax was based off Dennis Rodman and Jan Lee based off of Bruce Lee, but we got screwed out of any decent fight scenes. So yeah, man, I think he could have been Tina's dad. I think,
But it's not about if it's going to save the movie,
Yeah.
in his opinion.
It's would it be better.
It's would it be any better at all.
right. And it would have been slightly better,
It has to be.
even if Arnold was the head of the pirates,
Or the detective.
or the
Pirates.
detective. He's just drives around on this little floaty raft.
Yeah. Over here,
Over here.
we found some.
That's right.
Give me your yacht.
Give me your yacht.
Put your guns down.
I want your clothes, your boots, and your yacht. I wouldn't want to see Arnold and Tina Armstrong's get up.
No.
So here's what Hicks said. Arnold make this movie better. I know Arnold doesn't take falls or lose much, but you mean to tell me this movie graces us with two hulking military dudes and they're both forgettable as hell?
Yeah.
So in my opinion, put Arnold as either Bayman or Leon. Either would work, and in return, rewrite the script. They make it further into the prelims. Yeah,
Yeah.
set up Leon as a bigger fight down the road for Kasumi if she
Yeah.
thinks that he killed the brother, and then have it be Arnold or somebody that's got to take him. That would be
That'd be the real plot.
a million times better, right?
Right. You could actually have some decent fights.
Absolutely. Chris says, in so many ways, it's almost not worth answering, but it definitely would have caught my attention if they would have combined Arnold's commando character during the Christy and Helena rain fight. Because imagine John Matrix taking that inflatable motorboat onto the beach, but the close-up camera goes across his ass in the back in the black Speedo instead of Helena's. And Matrix yells, "This is for General Franklin Kirby!"
There you go.
Because Helena's father caused his death. Then there's an all-out three-way fight like you've never seen, but then they all wonder, while in their exhaustion, why they are really fighting. All right, look, guys, we have to land on our final rating for this movie. We have three options that lay before us because we're trying to marry the subjective and the objective, or rather separate them and then put them back together. It's not just because you enjoyed a movie doesn't mean it was good. It could be objectively good or bad, and then subjectively you enjoyed it or you didn't. So it's either a bad movie straight up, a good movie, or a bad movie that rules. Ryan, starting with you, where do you land on DOA : Dead or Alive?
This is a good movie.
Shut up. A straight up good movie?
Straight up good movie.
Ryan, the acting. The script was terrible. There's whole people that don't even. It's not. How can you say this is a straight up good movie?
Compared to all the other garbage I've had to watch, this is incredible.
It's not incredible.
That's kind of fair.
You haven't even had to watch that much garbage.
That's true.
I'm just saying, it's a real movie.
They're all real movies.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Real movies.
A straight up.
So anyway.
I literally feel bad about saying that, but I can't figure out where the bad movie is on this.
I just explained to you like 4 things that sucked about it.
Okay, well, Avatar sucks too. The only thing Avatar has for it is like pretty color. It's Pocahontas.
Okay, so you're saying Avatar is worse than Dead or Alive?
I'm not saying it's worse. I'm just saying that movie sucks.
If that movie sucks and this one is good,
sure.
This is what I'm talking about, objective and subject.
Sure.
You're saying objectively Avatar, you might not have enjoyed it, but it's objectively a worse movie?
Objectively, I'm not saying it's worse. I'm saying objectively it's not a good movie. But I don't know, dude.
All right.
I
mean, it's your opinion.
Problem with Avatar is that I
don't know how this turned into a shot on Avatar.
It's your opinion, but it's
there's
wrong.
there's no like work put into Avatar like for the script.
What?
They're like
it took him 12 years to make that movie.
come up with unobtainium.
Yeah.
It took him 12 years.
And then it took
what
him
do we call this object we can't get? It's unattainable. Unobtainium. I just figured it out for you. 5 seconds.
All right. So that's one stupid thing.
He's
but it took him
pretentious.
forever.
That's what I have a problem with.
James Cameron doesn't miss. He doesn't miss.
He missed pretty big on that one.
He didn't.
And then he's like, we'll do Pocahontas too.
Mel.
Yes?
What's your final rating on Dead or Alive?
Final rating on this. Going into this blind, not knowing it's a video game movie, not knowing anything about it, this was a fun as hell movie.
Okay.
Just out of nowhere, it's like, this is awesome. This is a perfect movie for bad movies rule.
Okay.
Because it was a good movie.
Get to the point, Mel.
A good movie straight up?
Let's go.
A good movie straight up? A straight up good movie?
Yes.
Am I taking crazy pills?
Go.
The hell is happening
It's a good movie.
here? It's a good
Watch
movie.
it.
This was fun. I will watch it again.
And it was made well.
Stephanie, what do you think?
I'm scared. I don't.
You can say whatever you want.
I gotta go. I don't.
No, you can say whatever you want, Steph. There's no wrong answer.
There clearly is a very wrong answer.
No,
His opinion doesn't matter. It's okay.
Okay. Every time that I think about this rating on these movies that we do, it's whether I would choose to watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would I be like, you know what? Let's sit down and watch Dead or Alive. I would not. So
I'm shocked.
I would not watch this again, and probably not even for the reasons that everyone's thinking.
Sure.
It's not up my alley. I think it's a bad movie.
Okay. Full stop.
Full stop.
Wow.
Sure.
Like, okay.
That's okay.
I'm not saying I wasn't entertained by it. I did enjoy it, and the premise was, like, I got it. I just wouldn't choose to watch it again at my own free will. I'd have it to be tied down.
Oh.
All right, James, the show has a name for a reason.
Yeah.
So go ahead and give your...
What's your thoughts, James?
I think you're...
James is having a stroke.
I think you're out of your mind if you think this is a objectively subjective thing. You can't argue with that because it's your opinion. You enjoyed the movie. I can 100% argue all day about if it's an objectively good movie with a terrible script written by the Bill Nye guys. Okay.
What about the script did you not like?
The terrible dialogue. Okay. In that there's whole side characters that serve no purpose. They skipped through almost everybody that needed to fight other than these 3 other people. Didn't even finish the tournament. Had this whole subplot about robbing the place based off some tattoo on the back of some chick's neck that ended up being pointless and meaningless and going nowhere.
It wasn't about any of that.
I don't think it shares the same side.
It was about finding her brother.
It was not even about that.
That was the whole point of the movie.
Because even that, they didn't sew enough in for me to care within the film. And part of that is the performance, part of it is the script. But there's not name one single memorable piece of dialogue. Usually when I start the intro for the show during the music and I'll say a line of dialogue from the movie, get this thing kicked off with some energy. There wasn't one single line from the movie where I was like, this is the line from the movie. That's why I had to be like, get your 2 pieces ready.
I want you to do something else with your mouth.
Right. Like the script was awful. The guy can shoot it very well. He's, like I said, a competent director of martial arts movies.
Right.
I'm not a huge fan of even the original Transporter, but I acknowledge the guy's talent. I think his over-reliance on wire work is obnoxious, but I'm willing to let that go because it's just what that was in 2000.
Sure.
Daredevil's 2003. This is 2006.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like what they were doing at the time. You don't really see that anymore because eventually they're like, we can do this better and not sucky.
It's cheaper with computers now.
And all that stuff too.
Yeah.
Wire fraud.
I think there's 2 things that make this absolutely impossible to be objectively good, and that's the performances and the script are terrible.
Oh, so you thought the performance was really bad?
Most of them, yes.
okay.
Most of the performances were terrible.
Makes up like the entire movie.
Right. So, yes.
Just these 2 minor things.
I'm still saying it's a bad movie that rules. So I'm not saying it's a straight up bad movie. I didn't get to my rating. Yeah, it's a bad movie that rules because it is fun.
Right.
It's stupid. It's enjoyable for that reason. The point is there's enough fun to be had where I'm like, yeah, I enjoyed myself.
Sure.
I thought it was going to be like Elektra, where I was like, this is terrible, not redeemable,
right,
horrible. It's better than that. It's light years better than Elektra, but it's not a good movie, not by any stretch of the imagination. That's my final call on that.
I mean, it doesn't crack my top 100.
No,
but it's definitely an enjoyable movie.
There's just no way either, though, that like even if you're right, there's no way that this deserves the rating it has. No. It's rated way too low.
Fair enough. I have 4.8. You mean?
Yeah, 4.8 and 33%.
All right. Here's what Matt said. I'm a longtime fan of the game, and at one point in my life, I could turn to the screen and still manage a flawless match against someone. Kasumi was always one of my favorites, and I even know Lauren Landa, the voice actress for Kasumi in Dead or Alive 5 and 6. From solid wooden acting by Potato Face, generic Asian guy, My Name is Earl, Trailer Trash Barbie, and the guy her same age that's supposed to be her dad. This cringeworthy script seems like it was written by a 15-year-old nerdy virgin who was told by his high school English teacher he should pursue a creative writing class.
Weatherby.
What's the problem?
This is what I'm saying.
Weatherby.
Terrible script.
Wrote it.
Matt, I agree with you. Not to mention every guy having straight up rapey vibes and the chick who doesn't do teams and then immediately teams up to help. The awful CGI, the terrible wire work. This is a bad movie, full stop. Huh. I watched this on Vudu for free with ad breaks and I found myself looking forward to the ad breaks for a brief respite.
Oh my God.
Having now seen this for a second time, my past self can remain validated in telling myself to never watch this terrible movie ever again, and I happily never will. This movie belongs lost to time.
Whoa.
Never to be discussed and only to be forgotten.
Are you okay? Who hurt you?
Strong takes, but I like it, Matt.
Sheesh.
I like it, brother. Matt. Yeah, so I thought the same thing when I saw Kevin Nash was playing Jaime Pressly's dad. I was like, what? But I looked up, he's actually 18 years older than she is.
So it's possible.
So it is possible. But Matt, I agree with you because I had that exact thought immediately when I saw that. I just had to go look it up.
Well, she didn't look young in this either.
No, she looks, I think it's more because she looks older than she is.
Yeah.
But he was 18 years older than she is.
She's always looked older though.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really age. She's like been...
She's always looked 35, like since she was 20.
Yeah.
And now that she's 50 something, she probably still looks 35. Like she just always looked the same.
Frozen at 35.
Right. Exactly.
Lucky.
Can't relate.
Here's what Ranger Hicks said, and man, he has a lot to say. I have so many problems with this movie. I understand that the storyline for most fighting games is convoluted and diluted over many characters, but why did DOA have to go hard in the paint with the storyline? Okay, we're going to collect all the fighters' data and make the ultimate fighter, as if that hasn't been in the overarching story for practically every fighting game that's ever existed. Dead or Alive, as a video game, has so many hooks and storylines that they could have done much more. In the actual game, they take Hayate and turn him into an ultimate fighter, wipe his memory clean, turn him loose. Then he goes by the name Ein, I think it's Ian or Ein, and enters the tournament to get his memory back. That's actually a good story. And it doesn't involve Eric Roberts doing Kung Fu. On top of that, they did Ryu Hayabusa dirty in this movie. They made him simpering, shy guy.
It's true. He's like, oh.
It's true.
Mind you, this is supposed to be the Ryu Hayabusa, the ultimate ninja, the title character of every Ninja Gaiden game in existence. This man is supposed to be awesome, and they just did him dirty. You know who else they did dirty? Jan Lee. This guy is basically the reincarnation of Bruce Lee in the DOA series, and he didn't even get one spoken line and lost to Christie. What kind of crap, which is kind of crappy, but what can you do? You didn't even get one, what-ta? It's a travesty. And finally, why the hell are they attempting to basically make this the second coming of Charlie's Angels? In the end, that's the vibe I got from this movie, and it doesn't even do it well. It didn't need to be that. Charlie's Angels was doing fine on its own. On a writing basis, this script is why you need to remember to stay in your own lane when you write. Don't try to imitate something else. And while the fight scenes vary in quality depending on who is involved, there's a heist shoehorned into the story just for the sake of it. And watching Devon Aoki in this film feels like the equivalent of having a Hot Wheel pulled out of my butt.
How do you know what that feels like, man?
But here's the bow on it from Ranger X. Even still, it's a bad movie that rules, but even then, I would never watch this movie alone. You need friends, beer, and the realization that if you're watching it, you better be riffing it. And I only give it the rules because I know there are worse adaptations of popular media, like the live-action Dragon Ball movie. So, strong take. But I got bad movie that rules, ultimately. So we've got 2 rules, 2 good, 1 straight up bad. Or no, 2 bad.
2 bad.
2 bad.
Say, Matt said bad.
2 bad, 2 rules, 2 good. So that means that Chris Cordray is about to break the tie here.
Oh boy.
Let's see what he has to say here. I hated the first hour and 10 minutes of this movie, Chris says.
That's almost how long it is.
But hear me out. I believe this is a bad movie that rules. Eric Roberts, Jaime Pressly, Steve Howie. Without them, this movie would have been terrible. This movie played with my frustration so much. The horrible early 2000s synth music, all the guys wearing longboard shorts. Eric Roberts' secret weapon being a pair of sunglasses he has to keep on his face at all times. But then 50% of the fight scenes were good, and there was this idea of nanobots in the fighters' bloodstreams that kept Hayate alive, which I didn't see coming, and the multitude of lower back tattoos on the ladies. I'm happy I never played this game or knew it existed. Chris Cordray, bad movie that rules. So that's a wide spread, though.
Yeah.
2 straight up bad, 3 bad movie that rules, and 2 people that were totally wrong. So...
See, here's the thing.
Wow.
I am so close to bad movie that rules, but I think it's better than that.
I can't. Yeah.
It's not Titanic.
It's certainly not.
It's not.
It's not Avatar either.
Avatar sucks.
I don't like Avatar, but
Okay.
All right.
I can't go down to bad movie that rules. It's
I don't.
not
You don't. I'm
happening.
not asking you to. Yeah. I'm just shocked.
We're just saying that you're wrong. That's all.
see,
You'll have work to do. And that work is going to be your own. You'll have to rebuild your credibility somehow. I don't know how you'll
Go
do
home
that.
and look in the mirror and think about what
Wow.
you've done.
Wow.
I'm not the one that just sat in here and in front of God and everybody just said
gosh.
that Dead or Alive is a good movie.
Watch it again.
Oh, I'm gonna watch it again. But not because it's good. So next week we have our next Patreon pick. This was our
nice
poll that came through on our Patreon where they get to pick the next episode.
it's not a martial arts movie, is it?
It is a martial arts movie. This is, you know how we've had Mr. No Legs?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? And we had, wasn't there another one we had? What was the other one we had?
Mr.
Daredevil.
No Arms,
What's that?
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
He's blind.
Mr. No Sight.
No, but wasn't there one without hands?
Hands of Steel. He's fake hands.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Hands of Steel.
Yeah.
And in the one where he jumps through the sandbank,
Remo.
he's like all fake, right?
That's right. But next week we get Blind Fury.
Let's go.
It's a Rutger Hauer movie about a guy that can do martial arts and is blind, just like Daredevil,
Sound
but
like Daredevil?
but much cooler.
But
'cause
different.
Because he has a sword.
It's the same but different.
come stand in the rain with me. We have that scene too.
He's a Vietnam veteran.
my
He lost
butt
his eyes
shot.
in Vietnam, and now he fights people with a sword
Perfect.
hidden inside of his cane. And I can't wait.
I'm glad you said Kane.
Yes. Join us next week for Blind Fury, where Ryan Madela will come in here and talk about why it's better than Pulp Fiction. And
When
we're
is it?
excited. What's that?
When is it?
It's next week.
I know, but is it on?
It's a Sunday. It's a week from here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I might be here for the kids' day.
Okay, perfect. I can't wait to hear why it's better than Shawshank Redemption. So come on in.
That movie was mid.
Okay. Thank you. And just want to say thanks, Stephanie, for being here. We're always thrilled when you
Thank you
come
for
by
having me.
and grace us with your presence.
Yeah.
Mel, thank you for being in here as well. It's good to have you back. You took like a whole month practically because you were traveling around.
I did, yes.
So we'll maybe talk a little bit about that on the post show. Ryan, you were also here.
Thanks.
Appreciate you,
I've been
brother.
here.
Ryan, you were also
This is your
here.
third episode in a
And
row.
I'm gonna try to come in
Because you're
next week.
covering for
so
Bob.
It'll be 4. in a row.
Flip-flops were flying, and I'm always happy when you're here, bud. So thank you for everybody that's tuned in. We appreciate you, and we'll welcome you back next week for Blind Fury. In the meantime, thank you for listening. My name's James Hauser. Come back again next week.